I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the government shutdown thing and food stamps and other government assistance programs, and they're worried about it. Don't. Stop depending on a government. Stop. It's a sad reality. Again, I understand it, right? It's our government. We're putting taxes into it, right? We're feeding taxes into it. And they're doing this. Here's the thing. The sad reality, okay? Unless you can change it, right? Unless you can change the government. Unless, let's say, all of us get together and change it. It's not going to change. So, you know what you can do is be less reliant on others. Less reliant on others. Gain financial freedom. Learn to invest, budget, and save. Gain financial freedom where you're not shackled by anything else. You're not shackled by the government. You're not shackled by a boss. You're not shackled by anything. You can be your own boss. You can control your destiny. You control your life. We have so many people who are dependent on other people. And that's scary. That's scary. Because at the end of the day, when, let's say, the government shut down, now you're scrambling for some help. Right now you're threatening, I'm gonna go to Walmart and steal. I'm gonna go to Target and steal. Great. How about learn to budget, save, and invest where you don't have to be an immoral person? We have too many people relying on the government, a government that honestly is a shit government. Okay, I mean, I think they're the best. Sad thing, I think they're the best government in the world. I mean, I'm not saying the best, one of the best governments in the world, but still, they're shit. I don't deny that. I don't deny that, because honestly, I always view government, I always view the government as voting for the lesser of two evil, right? Because who am I? I'm not going to be able to change it. You're not going to be able to change it. Unlikely that we all get together and change anything. Unlikely that, if there's a candidate that, let's say, oh, I want to change things up, I doubt you will vote for him. I doubt you will vote for him. I really do. It's just how it is. People won't do it. People won't change. People won't make change because it's not drastic, right? It's not that drastic because it's not everyone is relying on government assistance. So not everyone is crying about it. But for the people that are, this is the time where maybe stop relying on the government. So if you don't need them, maybe you can, I don't know, see their insanities. I don't know. I just say that it's better off that you stop relying on them. Stop depending on them, okay? I believe it's better for you, for your family, for your generations of your family, that you don't depend on them, okay? So, like I said, I mean, learn to invest, learn to save, learn to budget. And if you ever need help, I'm here. I'll definitely help guide you, but we need more people to stop being reliant on the handouts of the government. So I wanted to talk about this comment. Someone commented this on my a comment I made, a reply, and this gives me a chance to say exactly what I pretty much replied to her. Holding bad men accountable. Holding bad men accountable. Women are, because this is the insanity of so many women, the delusion of so many women. So holding bad men accountable. Imagine this. I've said this before. In a world of good people, there will always be also bad people. Okay, even the law, right? Even punishments of imprisonment, years, lifetime of imprisonment, even death in some states. And that doesn't even stop people from doing crime. That doesn't even stop people from doing crime. So you would realize that, you know what? Instead of thinking about, let me change a bad man into a good man, a nice guy, how about I don't deal with bad men? How about, you know what? I'm not trying to change bad men. I just don't deal with bad men. How about that mindset? No. You want to change bad men into good men. The stupidity of that. And here's also the thing where men holding other men accountable, they do. No man teaches, right, their son, no woman teaches their son to be bad people. We don't teach them. The society doesn't teach them. We hold them accountable. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that, why a lot of men give up, or it's stupid to hold bad men accountable. Even though I just said in the beginning, it's stupid to do it, hold men, grown adults accountable, okay? Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, let's say DV cases. Majority of DV cases are by intimate partners, women's intimate partners. In a lot of those cases, women go back to said partners. Women go back to said partners, or women continue to date men of similar attributes where they continue that cycle of, let's say, DV. So you continue to get men that, would put you in those terrible situations. And if men tell you, don't date these men, would you even listen? You don't even listen. So men can't even stop you from doing something. Do you think men can stop other men from doing something? Particularly, right? You don't understand the reward system. So let's say, hypothetically, you stop a man, you tell a man, don't do this shit. Don't do these kind of things to women. It's not cool. Yet he does it. He doesn't listen to you. And he gets a woman. He gets a woman anyway. He gets a woman pregnant. He gets her body. She's still with him. She's attached to him. She wouldn't leave him even if he does bad things to her. Seems like he's thinking about, why the fuck would I listen to you when I'm doing what I'm doing and she still sticks with me? So I'm winning. Well, let's say this, the incels, the men that don't have nobody, look at that. These men that are, not necessarily, I mean, they're probably verbally toxic to women, but they're not physically toxic to women in a lot of cases. They get no one. So and this is why you can breed breed toxic men, where men see that, oh wow, the players, the bad boys, all these men don't have problems with women, being jerks to women, being manipulative to women, and these men succeed. How come the millionaires, the billionaires, the CEOs can cheat on these women, can lie to these women, and that women still desire these men? Maybe I should get rich and just care about that, right? You don't realize the impact that women have. You cannot hold bad men accountable when women take away said accountability. You cannot. That's the thing. Men, it will be just falling on deaf ears, right? It go one in one ear and out the other. When at the end of the day, he's succeeding. He's technically succeeding where he can get a woman. He still gets a women. So like, you'd be thinking, why the hell would I listen to you? Why would I treat women better when I treat women how I'm treating them and I still get them? While you can treat women better, yet she's divorcing you. She's leaving you for me. How is that making men change? Not really. Women don't realize the power they have. Okay? Women don't realize it. One, you have the power to change men. Two, you have the power to not deal with said terrible men. So stop thinking like this because it goes nowhere. So, my thoughts on the Young Republicans leak. Here's the thing. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're racist. I don't. It means nothing for me because I believe most people have prejudice of some kind. They have biases of some kind. I don't care. I'm not looking to police anyone's words. I've had plenty of people from the left give me death threats, said racist things to me, right? Says horrible things to me. Sure, it's your right. I don't care what you say. My focus is on actions or resultable actions. So let's say hypothetically, if the president was racist, I don't give a shit. But if the president was racist, yet he uses his power to target one group solely based on their race, then I'll say some shit. Right? Oh, and then some of you may say, oh, what about what he's doing with ICE and deportation? He's not doing it based on their race. He's doing it based on their immigration status. So I don't care. That is fine with me. That is logical to me. That makes sense as an American to me. This is the thing where we have to understand that I don't view Republicans or the right as holier than thou. I don't view them as, oh, they're the party that is the best party ever. No. But I've always viewed politics as voting for the lesser of two evils. I believe both sides are terrible. I believe both sides are terrible, and I believe most American view like that. But here's the thing where we all know that Republicans can be, and a lot are racist. We know that Republicans, the right, can be or focus on class, right? The rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer. Fine. I think that's the narrative for a long time with the right, and a lot of them, they know it. But here's the thing. The left, Democrats, they have an air of high morality, when in fact, they're no better. They are no better, okay, than Republicans and the right. They are, in my fact, even more racist a lot of times, or they're worse racists, right? They're racist behind your back. They are more classist. They care more about the rich, because here's the thing. The majority of millionaires and billionaires are Democrats. And here's my thing where I wanted to say this, where I'd rather face someone with a knife than have someone stab me in the back with it. That's the thing. And I believe that's Democrats. That's the left. They fake it. They will tell you all these, oh, we believe in love, we believe in tolerance, we believe in all this shit. But in the back, behind me, on closed doors, that's when they're racist. That's when they, plan their oppressions. No. So I don't need that. I'd rather you face me and I could challenge you on it than you show me a friendly face and go behind doors and try to do some shady shits, right? And I can't do shit about that. And that's how I view politics. That's how I view the right and the left. No one is here saying that the right is the beacon of morality. The right is the most, holier than thou group, right? No one is saying that. But like I said, in all honesty, I'd rather face an evil face to face, someone I can challenge, someone I can, hold to their words, than someone that shows me a fake ass face, a facade, and go behind my back and do shit. So that's how I view the right and the left shit. I honestly believe men settle more. I honestly believe men settle for women that don't want them. Men settle for women that find them unattractive. Men settle for women that only view men as a stability tool, as someone to be used. I believe, this is the thing, I believe the majority of divorces are women who have settled for men they weren't attracted to. They weren't really that into. They just found these men stable. But later on find out, you know what? You're too bored with this stable man. Now, I don't think of course, cheating and finance is a part of the statistics, but I believe the majority is that women are bored. They were never into or never really attracted to the men they chose. So, men settled for women that they don't want. Now, you may think that, oh, no, that sounds like women are settling. But are they? Because what a lot of these women think they're settling for is just a man that she wasn't attracted to. But here's the thing, and I've seen and heard plenty of stories where a lot of these women say he's a good husband. Hell, they say that he's a great husband. He's a great father, right? He's a great person. So settling for, because he's not attractive or because he's bored, that's not fucking settling, okay? That's changing your priorities. That's, how about viewing things that's not that important? What men truly settle for is Imagine being with someone who doesn't really like you, right? Who doesn't really even want you, who doesn't even find you attractive, who finds you, honestly, having sex with you is repulsive or annoying or monotonous, whatever. This is why, crazy thing, why a lot of relationships, why a lot of marriages, women cut off sex quite quickly. Once the relationship is more stable or long lasting, she knows that she has him hooked. She knows that men are now committed, right? Men are now stuck in this relationship. So it's harder for him to leave because he's semi-comfortable. So now women find that, okay, now I can cut off the sex because he won't easily leave. Knowing that men, in my opinion, are more habitual, they're more commitment minded, in my opinion, they're more loyal, and they're more men of duty. Okay, I committed to this woman, I put time in this woman, I put effort into this woman, I put money into this woman, so I have to stick with it out. But that's just, men are settling for women that are just wanting to use them. Now, I'm not saying that because from necessarily personal experience, because I do have personal experience. I don't want to always use personal experience to make a general, broad statement. But I believe this is true for most men. I believe this is true for most men. And even if I use my own experience, where I was in a relationship where I was providing, right? Providing, like whenever she wanted money, sent money. Whenever she wanted something, it was there. You would think not just that, they're emotionally, physically. I felt like I always showed her love, right? Always showed her that I thought she was amazing. I thought I loved her, right? You know. But at the end, like going in a relationship, even though there was sexless relationship for years, I just couldn't leave because I love this woman. And again, I had a desperate mindset. I hate dating. The dating market sucks, particularly for average men. It's hard. So didn't want to go back to it. But you gotta wake up from this. A lot of men gotta wake up. Where you know what? Sometimes it's just better to be alone than to deal with people that don't want you. So I saw this video of a woman saying that she wished men would be honest at the get-go, right? At the get-go. Here's the thing, where women live in a world where it's fantasy, okay? Like, they live in a world what should be and not what is. A lot of women seem to, which is weird, right? Women talk about it all the time, men are dangerous and shit like that, but yet women live in a world that makes them seem very naive, very foolishly innocent, yet they talk in a way they're not innocent. So it's kind of weird that a lot of women don't realize this is a fact of life, that there will be, if there are good people, there will always be bad people. I can't imagine a world where there's only good people. That doesn't make sense in my opinion. At least not for human beings. Because a lot of times we neglect what are humans. Humans are capable of any kind of, mindset. If there's a good people, there will be bad people. It's just how it is. So a lot of women that wish that, I wish men, or the men I interact with, would just be honest. But then you are assuming that every person, man or woman, are good people. And that's ridiculous. That is a naive way of thinking. So this is a thing where I wish women would really wake up. I'm not saying to be cynical and saying, all men are liars. No. I'll say be cautious that, there's a possibility that you may be interacting with a terrible person. That's just how it is. Take accountability that, I'm choosing to interact with someone. Now, it's my choice to interact with them, but you're not 100% responsible that if they're a bad person, they're a bad person. Now, you are 100% responsible for what you do. So, what a lot of women need to understand is accountability. Accountability. So, with the ability to be accountable, you have to understand that, you have to be cautious with your actions. This is why I find in women ridiculous that they say no to coffee dates. Those are opportunities for you to get to know somebody. Women, I've seen it so many times, women have terrible vetting skills. A lot of women judge men on their looks, their genetics, their wealth, their charm. A lot of these things are lies, or they're masks to be put on. Looks, you may be a gorgeous man, but a gorgeous man is just a mask. Okay, it could be a mask for how terrible he is inside. It could be. Charm, right? How he talks, the talking game. Well, that's also another fucking lie, right? Another facade, another mask for, to cover up his lies. So what I say is what women should do is take your time. Do not rush. Do not rush into having sex with a man. Do not rush into, whatever. You have to take your time to, your focus should be getting to know them, asking the right questions, okay? Tell me about your past relationships. Tell me, about your friendships, your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your dad. Tell me your relationships with your siblings. Tell me about your relationships with the world. Tell me about what's an important topic you like. It's like, seriously, get to know a man. Okay, knowing his wealth, right? Knowing that shit means what? It's great. If he's a productive human being, awesome. What job he has, what's his aspirations for the future, I find that a lot of women do not try to get to know a man. They don't. They want the glitz and glamour. A lot of women want to, and this is the thing where women like things that will fool them, right? A lot of times women say, I want a funny man. Why? I mean, it's great, right? If you want a funny man, it's great, but that's also, you don't get to know somebody, right? Jokes and all that shit does not really get to know someone. I think it's another cover-up, right? It's another charm tactic, in my opinion. So I'm just saying that there are ways that women should go about dating that a lot of women don't. Women neglect the talking stage, neglect trying to get to know a man. Women have such an emphasis, such a focus on superficial traits. How good looking he is, how charming he is, how wealthy he is. Means what? Nothing, in my opinion. If he's a productive adult, great. If he's not begging for money, perfect. Right? If he pays his own bills, amazing. But it's like, what if you want long-term relationships, right? Personality is key, right? So you don't hope he's like, a serial killer or like, someone who would roofie you, right? He's the type of person that will roofie you. I don't know. So I think a lot of women are going about dating wrong, and you're seeing the results of it. Oh, and you're saying, okay, if he's not honest, how would you know all that? Time, right? Prove. I mean, like sometimes I don't understand. Have him be around him. Prove it. Okay. You see his daily movements. You see how he talks. It takes time, right? It takes time. I agree. It takes time to get to know somebody. The problem is a lot of women ignore the time of getting to know someone and getting to know someone correctly. Okay. Also, a lot of times women ignore red flags. They ignore red flags. Particularly, they ignore red flags for men they find attractive. They don't ignore red flags for men they don't find attractive, right? They see that right away. So that's not a problem. But they ignore red flags for the attractive men. While they're so... They see these red flags really quickly when men they don't find attractive. And it's weird. Those red flags definitely eliminate good men, in my opinion. At least depending on the red flag. So, yes, how would you know if he's honest? Take your time. See what he's like. It's like, don't just listen to words, right? Watch the actions. All right, I want to talk about male friendship. There's been a lot of talk because of this video of a man, talking to his friends, and just that it seems like his friends don't really know anything about him personally. And I'm going to go about two ways. There's pros and cons, right? This is the thing where I find it interesting that, particularly from women who don't understand that there's pros and cons to everything. Right? Pros and cons to everything. Let's say this, women's friendship. I've seen it where women will stab you in the back. A lot of women complain that they wouldn't be friends with other women because of the drama, because of the cattiness, because of the backstabbing. So... but I find it weird that women would criticize men's friendship because, yes, women's friendship is deeper in the sense that there's a more, a stronger emotional bond. They know you personally, right? They know your inner thoughts, or they know your secrets, shit like that. Okay, great. But let's think about this. Knowing your thoughts and your secrets, a lot of women have said that these friends have used it against them. I saw a video of like, I think 4 or 5 women dancing, and they said that they just kicked out the one friend that got them all together. Okay, the one friend that they were all friends with that brought them together, and now they just kicked that friend out. It's that's disgusting. Okay, so what I'm saying is that there's pros and cons to everything. So men's friendship is more about bond of action, just a different type of bond, right? More a bond of something that, hobbies, taste. So I get it, right? It's not as he's not gonna know your birthday, and he's not gonna remember your favorite food. He's not going to your friend is not gonna call you every night and start texting you. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I miss you. No, your guy friends are not gonna do that shit. It's just how it is. I find it like kind of, because like this is the thing, right? I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, like, we haven't hung out in a while, okay? So I was just wondering, do you think that we're still friends? And he said to me that, bro, we're not 16-year-old girls. We don't need to talk every day. We don't need to like hang out every day. And he said that, whenever we check, because we're busy, right? We're adults, have families, have jobs. And he said that, whenever we hang out, it will be like, an amazing time. It will be like, we're still best as friends. So I was getting his point, okay? So although, it's hard for certain types of men, like men that are more emotionally intelligent, emotionally mature, emotionally, intertwined with their emotions. But then that's because, sadly, I don't know if I would call it the feminine mindset, but it's just the more emotionally conscious men. That's hard for those type of men, right? I get it. But maybe those types of men need more female friendships, right? Where if you want a more emotional bond, you get it from a female friendship, in a sense, in a way. So maybe that fits a female friendship. So I hate it when we are criticizing male friendships, when we neglect, and forget that friendship of all kind has pros and cons. I told you about women friendship. It's not as amazing, as strong, or stronger than male friendships. It isn't. I've had so many women tell me that they do not want female friends because of drama, because of backstabbing, because of shit like that. I think like 2 or 3 videos ago, I was talking about how I don't believe therapy is a good thing for men. Not necessarily, right? Not in general. Again, not all men, not all therapy, but in general, I don't believe therapy is good for men. So my prescription is that I believe what's more beneficial for men is a good father, of course, um, coaches, mentors, and a brotherhood, a good brotherhood. Okay, a brotherhood where you could feel like you could talk to them, a brotherhood that are understanding, that they are logical, they're also emotionally intelligent. So I believe that's more beneficial because, in my opinion, men prefer solutions, right? Men prefer solutions. Men prefer logical solutions, logical thought process. Now, talking to someone is a great thing, right? A therapist, whatever, right? But again, to feel like you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to talk to somebody who honestly who won't give you solutions, which I've read the comments, and I already know that therapists are not necessarily meant to solve your problems. But here's the thing: for men, they want the problem solved. Talking about your feelings is great, it's nice, but so what? Right? It means nothing. It means nothing when it doesn't solve a problem in men's eyes. And this is why I said that men talk different than women, right? Men think different than women in general, right? So it's not a logical thing. That's why men don't desire therapy. Men don't jump at the opportunity for therapy or whatever, or pay to therapy. But I do believe that men need to talk, right? Men need to express themselves, express their emotions healthily. But along with that, men need guidance. Guidance, right? Men need solutions because that's what men seek: solutions, guidance, right? A direction. So, a brotherhood, a good brotherhood, a mentor, a coach, a good father. Those are men that would listen to you, right? Listen to your shit, listen to your traumas, but they will also more than likely give you a direction, give you guidance, right? Give you a solution. So that's why I believe that those are better. So I want to talk about mental health, or therapists in particular. I saw this video of this, and she was a while ago, right? She was a black therapist, and she went viral saying, black men need therapy and stuff like that, and she got fired for it, whatever. Okay, so I saw another creator react to her recent video. She looks rough. I think she was fired and all this, and this got me thinking that it is insane that these are mental health experts, right? They are supposed to diagnose or help with your mental issues. But I see this so often that these supposedly mental health experts, these people who are supposed to, you're paying them to solve your mental health issues, and a couple things with that, right? But when you see some of the cases, they themselves have mental health issues. It's like, I find this weird, where you have doctors that look unhealthy and probably is unhealthy. That's like, that's weird. How great is your expertise? How great is your expertise that you can't even solve your own problems? How can you solve mine? And that's also, that's one thing where these experts can't even solve their own problems with their techniques and abilities and their knowledge. So that's insane. But here's the thing where people are gonna say, oh, they're not supposed to help you solve your problems. But then what's the point? Sometimes, like, if you can, in my honest opinion, right, you don't need to pay someone to talk with someone, right? If you have someone who is like a mentor, right? I always think a mentor, a coach, a good father, right? Someone who's logical, that is better suited for men, at least, right? I'm not gonna speak on women. They want to do their therapy, great for them. Even though sometimes I don't think it has helped them. It's kind of made them worse, with the catering of emotions. But whatever, right? For men, at least, I don't say that all men, right? The therapy wouldn't help all men, or that there aren't certain therapists that would be helpful. I'm talking in general, where men don't find it helpful because, what I said in the first part, and the second part is that they don't really help. They don't solve your problems. And like I said, if they're not supposed to solve your problems, like, to be honest, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for someone to just nod to your thoughts or ask you to talk more. But then, okay, how's that solving my problems? If you just want to talk, I think, again, get a free coach, right? Hopefully you have a more logical yet emotionally intelligent friend, who you don't have to pay, right? Because I feel that sometimes it makes it feel like a scam where you're paying for something, and what is the results? Again, I'm not saying all the time, but I think in general, or at least what I'm seeing, the results are mixed to not that good. So that's why I believe I don't value therapy. Okay, I think men need guidance. They need coaches. They need mentors. They need good fathers, in my opinion. They need good friends where they can talk to, and friends to give advice, actual usable advice. And men, that's why I say, like, I think therapy is more geared towards women, how they talk. It's not really geared towards men. Okay, men prefer more, in general. Men prefer more problem solving. Right? Give me a solution. Giving me this mumbo jumbo just keep on thinking about your parents, right? Just keep on thinking about your past trauma. How's that helping me? How's that changing my life, really? Okay, so that's why I see it. Like, that's why I think a lot of men are resistant to therapy. They get it. Talking about your feelings, talking about your past is a good thing, but is that solving your current issues, if you have any? Usually, it's not. Right? I mean, just talking about it is great. I don't discredit. I don't discredit talking about past traumas. I just discredit the degree it's helpful to changing your life, in my opinion. It doesn't, because in my honest opinion, you see a lot of these women that go to therapy and they talk about their issues. They still come out of it miserable partners. A lot of times, they still come out of it not good matches for men, right? So that's my personal opinion. I don't think some people understand. When I just saw someone talking about Oxford study stuff, and and every woman that talks about it, they constantly say, "Oh, it's not a study. It's not a study." Yeah, people know. It's a meme. It's a meme. That's something that a lot of, particularly women, don't understand. Men have made that into a meme. They know it's not a study. Men know it's not a study, because guess what? What generation of men coined that? That's this generation, right? This generation of men coined it. This generation is very popular with the memes. So that the Oxford study is just a meme in itself. That's something that a lot of women can't grasp. It's just a play on the reality that, usually when you see women on this app, on social media, they're showing off their white boyfriends. That's just how it is. It's a funny meme. It's so predictable, right? It's so predictable a lot of times that it turned into a meme, right? I don't know. I forgot. I don't know who started it, but again, that's the purpose. That's the ideology that a lot of women seem not to understand. Oxford study is a meme. The meme on when you see an Asian woman, there's a high chance she's dating a white boy, and a subpar white boy too. I want to talk about this patriarchal ideology. Whoever initiated the date pays for the date. Not that hard to understand. Okay. Why is it so hard that why is it that crazy that whoever accepts that date, they should give a kiss to the initiator on said date? Why is that so terrible, right? Oh, men aren't owed women's body, which I agree. But if you follow this logic, so men who initiate the date, they should pay for it. Okay. So women that accept said initiated date, why shouldn't they give a man a kiss? Why? It's like, I find it, this is the thing where it's the energy, and the world's filled with double standards. I don't disagree. But I like to point these out. So why are you so entitled? Why are you so entitled? Because he asked for the date, that he should pay for it. Yet you are so entitled for the free meal, for the payment of your meal. Yet he shouldn't be entitled to a kiss. It's like women don't go, because dating has changed. It's no longer the same what it used to be. Because a lot of dates nowadays, it's like men just having to prove themselves worthy of you on the date, instead of going on a date with someone that you like, and the date is just to reinforce that kind of ideology. So now it's just, dating is like a proving ground, I guess, where you don't know this man, you don't really care for this man, so he has to prove himself. He has to change your mind into possibly liking him. Okay, and that's why it feels like a lose-lose situation, because it's not an easy thing to change a woman's mind into if she likes you or not. So, I would think you make dating as equal as possible. Okay, and again, if you do what you want, right, do what you want, but you're seeing a shift. You're seeing a slow shift where women are complaining. Why aren't men approaching? Why do men expect women to approach? Well, they now expect things to change. Okay, because it's a lose-lose. Even if you initiate the date, you pay for the date, it doesn't mean you get your investment from said payment. Men are tired about it. Men are tired of going on dozens of dates, initiating dozens of dates, paying for dozens of dates, and it going nowhere. Men are tired of it. And that's why you're seeing the shift. You're seeing more and more women on this app complaining about men aren't approaching. You see women saying that, oh, they haven't been approached in years. They haven't had a boyfriend in years. They haven't had a date in years. Guess what? It's like I said, do what you want, right? It's not like I don't do it, right? Pretty much all dates I've ever been on, I paid for it. It's just that you're seeing the shift that men are tired of this. Men are fed up with it. Okay? And women don't understand. I say women are fed up with it. Women are tired of dating too, but women don't see that, the type of men they're getting that would ignore it, pay for the date, doesn't really care, are the type of men that wouldn't even invest in you anyway. They wouldn't care about it anyway. It's like they're bored. They're just using you as a time waster. Not anything. They're not committed. They don't really care. That's why the men that would initiate, the men that would pay, they don't give a shit. Right? It's like nothing. It's just another day for them. So I think this is the outcome is not, it's not happening for either people. So I'm just saying, and I was joking, right? With the whole men should owe a kiss. It's more like I want to show you the entitlement, right? If I'm entitled, do you not see how you're entitled? So that's my point. But again, how we're going about dating is completely wrong. And I said my reason why in the first video, so you can click on the comment to see. I was watching this video. I mean, just another video on my FYP, and women constantly says it, right? Women say, "Oh, I believe a man should, provide for his woman." Okay, and you hear this all the time by women. I believe men should provide for his women. I believe men should provide for his women. I believe men should provide and protect for his women. Okay, I get it. But you rarely, if ever, hear what women say that women should do. Women find it hard for women to say women, "Oh, you need to cook and clean and take care of the children." 100%, or that is your main duty. You hear it. You don't hear women saying this, right? It's always okay, and women love trying to make it a double standard, trying to make this a double standard. Women love trying to show the hypocrisy in it. Oh, I believe men should provide for their woman. Okay, what do you believe a woman should do? You don't hear women saying this. Please tell me, what do you believe a woman should do? Oh, just be herself, right? All she needs to do is just be herself. What? Or just all she needs to, it's like you don't hear any duties when it comes to being a woman in a relationship. You don't. At least not by any significant degree. Women don't talk about this. Because women know that they don't want to promote it. They want to promote men providing. That's what they want to promote. But they don't want to promote women having any duties in a relationship. In all honesty, I rarely ever hear women say, what are women's duties in a relationship? Okay, what is her sole duty? No one ever says anything, right? Men should provide. Men should pay for dates. Men should, pay for, this one was like the rent. Men should pay for rent. Men should pay for utilities and living. Men should pay mortgage. Okay, I get it. Men should pay. What should women do? What is women's jobs? You don't hear it. You don't hear it. And this is the insanity too. The same women that say, oh, men should provide. Okay. They also complain that, oh, men don't help with the cooking and cleaning, with the domestic work. Men don't help with the childcare. So you want men to help with all those other things that are supposedly your duty, yet you want him to 100% his duty? Yeah, that's the hypocrisy and delusion. That's the women trying to create a double standard. Oh, no. He needs to provide, but also he needs to contribute on all these other areas too. This is why I'm seeing like more and more women are selfish. Women are selfish, and this is why a lot of men are just walking away. This selfishness is insane. I was just listening to a story, right? A Reddit story, excuse me, where a wife for years begged her husband to be vulnerable to her, to tell her, his childhood, tell her all his traumas. Years he didn't want to do it. So finally he did. He told her all of his traumas, all those things. To only when they have an argument, she using his traumas against him. This is a thing where it's not that men don't want to open up. It's not that men don't want to open up. It's not men don't want to show their feelings. Men do. And I find it really funny with a lot of women where they show how unempathetic they are because they don't have that kind of understanding. Men would love to show their emotions, show their feelings, talk about their traumas and, all that shit. The problem is when they do, or they see other people do, said people that, know their trauma, use it against them. This is why I say why women are not really as empathetic as they think they are. Because this is the thing, even they know that they wouldn't want anyone to use their trauma against them. But the problem is that men see it far too often, that when someone knows your trauma, someone knows your inner secrets, there's a high likelihood when bad blood happens, arguments, disagreements, whatever, people will use anything and everything against you. Particularly, let's say this, particularly women, when emotional, women's strength, right? It's not being strong. It's being, what is it? I guess knowing about emotions, right? Women's strength is dealing with people, knowing things about people, remembering things about people. And, they're people skills, or lack thereof. And women will remember these and use it against you because they know that this is a really sore spot. This right here is the knife. Instead of punching you, right? Because women don't have the necessary strength to punch you. What do? They will use emotional traumas against you because they know that punching you means nothing. Punching you does nothing. But these emotional jabs, these emotional stabs mean a whole lot more. And women know this. Women have this power that they know that, okay, I can't hurt you, but I can really hurt you with this. So a lot of men, this is why, like I said, why a lot of women aren't really as empathetic as they deem they are. Because a lot of men don't want to share because they either been to this or they see this. So That's why, like, it's not the, I don't think this is the whole, toxic masculinity. No, I think it's just the human experience. It's not like, oh, men are saying like, oh, you need to be cold, you need to be, no, because men understand that, you know what, I believe what hurts more is how you attack someone inside, because that is psychologically long lasting. A punch, you can get over it, right? If you get a bruise, you get a black eye, a couple months, you're done, right? It's over. But honestly, emotional trauma, that can stick with you for God knows how long. So, I don't think that's part of the patriarchy or toxic masculinity. No, it's the human experience. It's the male experience that a lot of women do not care, do not recognize, or they don't talk about. And a lot of men know this, right? A lot of men talk about it. A lot of men know this. So, I'm not telling women to be more empathetic, but, to be more understanding why a lot of men just don't open up. Because, honestly, a lot of women are very cruel when they attack. I had someone DM me, right? Someone DM'd me and say, "Oh my God, your page is only about hating on women." I said no. It's not about only. It's not even about hating on women, right? That's the thing where I find people to. I've made multiple accounts. It's not really about hating on women. It's about holding women accountable for their words and actions. If you believe it's hate, then that's what you believe in. But I also told this person, right, who DM'd me and said a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even read. I said, okay, fine, mic up. Let's do a debate. I'm telling this to everyone who disagrees with me on anything. Let's mic up. Let's have a debate. If you think you can, and I'm not talking about like, this is not like I'm trying to be hateful to you, right? I will be respectful. For me, how I talk is very respectful. So if you want to have a debate, a civil discourse, civil conversation, respectful conversation, I'm down. Right? For anybody who disagrees with me on anything, right? You see my videos. So you see the topics, you see, the things I say. If you have a disagreement, I'm down for some civil discourse. I'm down for a debate. I'm down for, let's have a conversation. Okay? If you want to challenge me on my worldviews, I'm down. Because here's the thing where I'm going to say this. I'm a man that, I'm not pig-headed. I'm not stubborn in my ideology. If you can make sense, right? If you have things to back up your words, if it makes sense to me, I could probably change up. Because here's my thing, right? A couple years ago, right? During the whole, let's say, I think that was, I don't know how long ago. During the whole Bernie Sanders running for president thing, I was a straight up Democrat. I was on the left, okay? And I changed my views. So I can always change, right? If it makes sense, change it, right? I'm up to like, just make it make sense. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a debate. But I will be respectful. Let's have a respectful conversation. But if you have the audacity to tell me your views, okay, you should have the balls to mic up and let's have an actual conversation. Because I'm not down with this. Like, I have to type up all these comments. I'm tired, right? I'm like, I don't want to like constantly text all this shit. Let's actually have a conversation, right? Let's talk to each other. So, if you're down for to challenge my worldviews, I'm down too. Maybe I find this as a coping thing, right? Because I see so many women talking about decentering men. They're glad they're single. They're glad I saw this video of a woman saying she's glad she's ugly because she doesn't have to, care about the attention of men, care about the validation of men, care about, getting men, having a relationship with men, all this other stuff, right? So she's glad she's ugly so she can focus on herself and her career. Okay. I just find that it goes along with this thing where women constantly said, "Oh, I want to decenter men. I want to decenter men. I want to focus on my career, myself. I'm happily single. All this stuff." Yet, these are the same type of women that nonstop talk about men, or nonstop having gripes with men. If you don't date men, if you don't deal with men, if you don't want men, I don't understand why you constantly thinking about them. Why you constantly have a problem with them? Because you don't date them. You don't really know them. You don't really interact with them like that. Not on a personal level. Not on anything special. Yet they're constantly on your mind. I find that weird. Where how you decenter somebody, okay? But you're constantly thinking about them, right? Constantly talking about them. Because I believe you talking about someone, you're usually thinking about them. Okay, I think it's a projection where you say, "Oh, I'm not thinking about them," but yeah, it comes out your mouth all the time. So I don't know. I just find this, and this is why, right? This is why I question women when they say I'm happily single, because they do things that action-wise doesn't make sense. It counteracts it. Where they are physically, they are literally talking about it, right? They're just talking about it. They're thinking about them all the time. They have complaints about them all the time. How can you have complaints with people you don't date or you don't interact with? I've seen women that, you know what, and I've said this before, I support women. If you are happily single, please stay. Right? Just get out. Don't deal with the dating market. Don't deal with men. Just truly decenter men, right? Truly, because I know women can do it, right? Literally, make men invisible to you. Okay, curb men that want to talk to you. Like, no, I'm good. Boom, walk away. I've seen women do it plenty of times, so I know women can do it. I just don't know why the woman that talks about it can't do it. I don't know. I just find this whole decentering men or happily single is a projection, a lie. I mean, because of how women go about things. Because if you're the ones that are truly happily single, they're not talking about it. They're not online talking about men. So I guess I don't see it. But the ones that say they're happily single, well, those are the ones that are online talking about men. The ones that say they're decentering men, well, they're the ones online decentering men. So that's how my view is kind of skewed to fake happily single and fake decentering men. Can anyone give me an example, right? This is maybe I'm not being able to process this correctly, right? I hear this thing where a terrible partner but a good friend. How does that make sense? Please give me examples, because I can't. I'm trying to imagine it, right? I'm trying to do some critical thinking. What is the scenarios where this person is a good friend, even a best friend, yet a bad partner? Are you just talking about he's bad in sex? He or she's bad at sex? Bad at kissing? It's like, what? I really don't understand. Please, I need the help, because I'm trying to do some critical thinking. What would make someone a best friend, a good friend, yet they themselves will be a terrible partner? Is it that they wouldn't do gentleman-like acts? But I don't know. I mean, women have dated plenty of men that not naturally or not overly gentleman-like, right? So is being a gentleman the common denominator of being a good partner? I don't think so. I mean, a friend would still care for you and think about you, and I don't know. I mean, sometimes we cater to you, to your needs too. So I'm trying to do some critical thinking. I would love people to tell me that, because that doesn't make sense, right? And in my honest opinion, I feel like that's an excuse. That's an excuse to keep people around, right? As an option. Now, that's my controversial thought, right? Where you are keeping people around that you do like, you have loved, but they're not perfect enough for you. That's how I see it, right? They're not perfect enough for you, but you keep them around as an option that, I'm going to try to play the field, see if there's anyone more perfect, right? If the grass is greener anywhere else. If it's not, boom, I already have this person that I know would already be a good match. So, I keep them in my back pocket, kind of thing, right? That's how I'm seeing this. He's a great friend, or my best friend, but we can't be partners. Because the distinction between, in my honest opinion, a best friend and a, let's say a boyfriend, is the intimacy, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open-minded. This is the thing where I'm not trying to. This is the thing. I'm very open-minded. I would love to learn. I mean, because for myself, I can't dissect why, right? So, I mean, tell me if I'm right or tell me I'm wrong, and give me some examples. I can't imagine it. So, thank you. You know why I wish that men wouldn't be so lustful, right? Wouldn't have women their weakness, right? Lust and women as their kryptonite. Is that because women are men's biggest weakness, if not only. Men have almost zero standards when it comes to women. Almost zero standards. If she's good looking, that's it. That's all he needs, right? If he finds her attractive, that is it. And the thing is, if he finds her attractive, it's a very low bar, because most men find most women attractive. So since he has such a low bar, he will accept pretty much anything. Doesn't matter if she's old, young, fat, skinny, 8 kids, 0 kids, a bitch or not. Because this is the thing where you go on this app and you see so many women that are such insanely big man haters. Insanely big man haters, okay? Everything comes out of their mouth is like a criticism of men, but in a criticism, not even a criticism, but it is in a way that they just hate men, right? Everything a man does is absolutely the worst thing a person can do. And then I'm thinking that, man, this woman, she can't get no man, right? All this, but you know what? In reality, she could. That's why this is what I'm saying, where because men have no standards, right? Besides if he finds her attractive or not. All these women that you see on this line that would just spew 24/7 hate against men, these women can and maybe do have men, which is just insane. Because and you say, oh no, they don't mean all men. But this is the thing where a lot of these women do not know most men. A lot of these women do not know men, because you can't.
most women, right, do not interact with most men. Most men are invisible to most women. Use what a lot of these women do is they use the minorities, right? Let's say DV cases or SV cases, okay? The men that commit these things, they use those men, which is a small amount of men. What is it? The amount of men every year is probably, I don't know, under 500, right? 500K. It's not small, but relatively small when you look at the population that is, 160 million of men. It's kind of a drop in the bucket, right? But they use this to say, oh, men are dangerous. But is it men are dangerous or a small amount of men are dangerous? This is the thing where conversations like this is that women use the small amount of men to judge the majority of men. And it's just, but regardless, that's what they do. And then I'm thinking, oh man, these women must be like, they must be lonely or they can't find a man or anything. But they can, right? A lot of these women, what is the biggest man hater on this app? Drew, she's engaged. So this is the thing where men have zero standards. It is because you would think that a man see this, right? His girl just absolutely hate on men, right? Everything that comes out of her mouth is like men this, men that, men nah. How can you find that woman attractive, in my opinion? How? I would say this, even if a woman that dates a man, because women would not find a man that constantly say a whole lot of bad things about women attractive, right? So women have higher standards than men, right? Women at least know that, okay, man, this guy, this only talks about shit about women. He only insults women. I mean, like, it's not just, this is the thing where we the lines are maybe blurred, where you think criticism is the same as insulting, or the same as putting down, or the same as, just absolutely hating. And it's like, women, it's like, why do you think women don't date like incels, right? Because these are the type of men that consistently like insult women. But yeah, for men, because women are our weakness, we don't give a shit, right? There are men that would date a woman that has 8 kids by multiple men. There are men that would date 600-pound women. There are men that would date absolute horrendous man haters. I've seen so many times, right? A man, like a woman getting dragged away in handcuffs or whatever. Because she did a crime. Like a man's like, oh my god, that woman, what is she? What's her at, right? Oh, what's her name? What's her information? Oh my gosh, she's like, seriously, these women are criminals. These women are like, what is it? I think those videos where they show women in prison, and what they did is like, if she has a good mugshot, it's like, oh man, I will change her. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with us? I swear, this is like, we have no standards. As long as she's attractive to us, we don't give a shit if she's like, I don't know, a murderer. I don't know. Just, I really wish that men have better standards.
I want to talk about this where are men protectors? This is a thing where not every man has the ability to protect, just like not every man has the ability to provide or the ability to lead, okay? But I do think it's natural within the male race, right, generally. Because you gotta think, protector, men see as that majority military is men, majority firefighters, men, majority anything that actually protects and saves people are men. So it's more like a generalized idea. And here's the thing where I also want to put a caveat where you have to think about, I think men in general protect what is theirs, right? It makes more sense and I believe men should be protectors, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes with strength, right? You have the ability, or you should have the ability or the strength to protect. But in cases where you don't have men protecting, one, you can't protect that's not yours, because this is something that a lot of women neglect. There was a video of a bigger content creator saying that men don't say that we protect. I think we do, right? I think we do say we protect, and saying that there was a video a while back of a man in a stadium or a concert hitting on a woman and no one did nothing. At the end of the day, you have to think, why would someone risk their life for a stranger? And I get it, but why would someone risk their life for a stranger? You would hope that yes, the men that protect would do it, but it doesn't necessarily make sense, because there was a story a while back that a man and his wife and his newborn went into a Walmart, seeing a man and a woman arguing with each other, right? I think he was abusing her too. The man with his wife was going to go up to the abusive man. His wife was stopping him, telling him, don't do it. Well, he didn't listen. He wanted to be the white knight, cool. He went to stop that fight, went to stop it, separate them, trying to save the day. To only in turn, the man who was abusive, right, pulled out a gun, killed the man. So now, because he was protecting some random woman, now he left a widow, he left a child fatherless. Even though he protected this woman, would you think that woman is now dedicating the rest of her life to provide and protect for his family? No. So at the end of the day, we got to think about, yes, would it be nice for a man to protect all women? It would, but it doesn't make sense. That is why we put the job for police. This is why people really put down being a police, but that's the importance of the police. That is the obligation. That is the job duty, right? That is the responsibility of the police, to protect strangers, to protect citizens. It is not the job of men, of average men, to protect everyone. It is not their job, not even to protect women. But I do believe that they should protect what is theirs, their family, their wife, their kids. So, because again, at the end of the day, being a hero, right, it sounds nice, but it's stupid. right? Being a hero is stupid because you're not gonna get that parade. You're not gonna get that whatever. All you're gonna get is now you left possibly your family with no one to protect them. So that's the thing where we have to really put a caveat and be more sympathetic, understanding why. Okay, where's all the men that will protect women? Why doesn't she have a man to do that for her? Why need strangers to do it? And I gotta say, plenty of strangers have. Plenty of strangers have. You just can't always expect it. You can't always demand it. You can't always think that you deserve it. Just because he's a man, you're a woman, men should always protect you. Well, that's what we have cops for. Average people can't have the expectations of it. And I don't think that necessarily negates. Oh, men say they're protectors. Yeah, they are protectors, but you have to be logical in it. Okay, that is why there's police. Men shouldn't be protectors of just general men shouldn't be just protectors, because like I said, hypothetically, fine, if I protect a stranger, okay, I got killed, I got beat up, I got whatever. You think some woman is doing cooking, cleaning for me, right? I don't know, giving me kids, I mean, taking care of my kid, nurturing my kid? No. So random women using doing her natural things, right? Nurturing and loving me. No, she wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't expect that. So you shouldn't expect it in reverse. That's the thing. I want to say this, that I think the biggest green flag, the most amazing skill anyone can have is self-reflection. If you can accurately or take time to do self-reflection, I think that is the best skill anyone can have. That is the best quality anyone can have. And in my personal opinion, I think a lot of women ignore this when searching for a partner or when looking at their own dating life. Because I've grown as I get older. I think the most important ability is accountability, right? Where I believe we have too many people who blame the world, who blame others, who just either blame exes, blame families, blame the world for whatever. And a lot of times we do not take accountability that at the end of the day, yes, are there bad people? Yes. Are there liars, cheaters, whatever? Yes. But the only thing we can control is ourselves. Stressing about, is this man lying to me? Is this woman cheating on me? Okay, whatever. Because at the end of the day, what will help us is that, we learn that, I accepted that liar. I accepted that cheater. Because this is something that I had to learn too, where I could right now be hating on my ex, right? Blaming her that the relationship is terrible and stuff. But what does that do? How does that improve myself? How does that help me learn for my next relationship, or just improve myself as a human being? Is that I learned that, at the very least, I foolishly ignored red flags. I fell for the trappings that, things will change, she would change, he would change. It's like that's foolish. Hoping for others to change, hoping for others to be how you think they should be or want them to be. This is why self-reflection, accountability is so important. Where I don't need others to change because I shouldn't expect it. I have no right to change others or expect others to change. But what I can do is either change myself or realize that I shouldn't allow certain things to happen. I shouldn't allow this bad person, this person who mistreats me, this person who views me in a certain way to enter my life or stay in my life. We have so many people who, and I fell for this too, where we do love someone, but we see the red flag, we see how we're mistreated. Yeah, because we love them. We're gonna, they're gonna change, or they're gonna see that they're gonna see that you're trying, or they're gonna see that they're gonna appreciate you one day. It's like the hopium, right? That hopium is a dangerous thing. We need to stop it. We need to stop ignoring red flags. We need to stop allowing people to treat how they treat us. Because this is the thing: if someone cheats on you and then continues to cheat on you, you shouldn't blame the other person. You should blame yourself for allowing this person to continuously affect you in this way. A lot of women think that the whole victim blaming is, I think that whole notion of victim blaming is just another way to take away accountability. Now, I'm not saying that there are bad people, right? Abusers and all this stuff. Yes, they are bad, but we ignore. What does that change? How can we fix the situation? How can we fix a possible future situation? By knowing that I shouldn't have gotten this man. I shouldn't have gotten this woman. I shouldn't have ignored this. These red flags, like his temper. I should have ignored that. All of her relationships, she cheated on him, right? That's the thing where accountability forces us, self-reflection forces us, to know what we did wrong. What did we contribute to the downfall of our relationship, the downfall of our life? What we did wrong to end up where we end up? Because at the end of the day, putting blames on others does not self-improve, does not improve your mentality, does not improve your skills. Because I think a lot of people do this, particularly women, where they don't recognize that, why am I constantly failing in relationships? Why am I constantly failing in relationships? Or why am I attracting these said people? Knowing the reasonings, having self-reflection, knowing your flaws, knowing your patterns, knowing what you're doing wrong is so important to improving your life. Or the big thing, having boundaries, clear-cut boundaries that you do not allow others to cross. And if they cross, you have strength in yourself where you walk away. So I think self-reflection skills, having conviction and accountability, you don't allow people to cross your boundaries. Right? You don't allow people to do you wrong. So, maybe I don't see it in my FYP often, okay? But I want to, I guess, be on the record or just have it out there that I'm the type of man that I'm in a big, big support of women who have suffered from any form of violence to not give up and have the conviction to fully pursue her whatever case, to commit to holding the people that harmed her accountable. I don't see maybe, let's say this, I don't see many people, women nor men particularly, I don't see men showing support, because I'm a big support that. I think a big detriment to a lot of women's movements or cases is because a lot of women, yes, I agree. I think you see a lot where people dissuade women, or people don't believe women necessarily, or people do things to belittle, certain heinous crimes. So I am in big support of when women have the strength to ignore, to look past, or just to fight against all the negativity around her, all the naysayers, all the detractors, all the people who tell her not to do something, and she would do it regardless. She will keep on fighting to get any case, get any traction moved towards a conviction, a person being punished for their heinous crime. I'm a big supporter of it, and I don't think we have enough people really supporting women to not give up, in the sense that we need to make the people that do heinous things suffer. We need to make these people who do heinous things receive punishment for their crimes. So, because I see a lot of people, talk about after the fact that, we need to, I don't know, like, we need to blame the men, blames the system, and all these other blames, or all these other focus. And I'm not saying those are necessarily blameless. I'm more saying that I think we need to promote strength, right? We need to promote conviction. We need to promote determination. Because the most powerful thing you can show is picking yourself back up, not letting, having conviction for your principles, for your moralities, for how you feel. I think not enough is placed on that, right? Not enough focus is on giving people, and particularly in this case women, the strength to follow through, right? The strength to not listen to the negativity of the naysayers, the strength to fight. That's the thing, the strength to fight, the strength to overcome, okay? And not just overcome the result of it, but overcome the people who tell you, don't do this, it's gonna be hard, whatever. Well, nothing in life is going to be easy. Nothing in life is going to be easy. So I just think that we need to show or support women in fighting, right, for justice, fighting for justice. So I don't know. I was just listening to, I don't know, my FYP. Okay, I listened to one Reddit story about women abuse. I listened to another story of some women talking about Kobe Bryant and false allegations don't ruin. It's like false. She's saying false allegations don't ruin men's life. And her example is Kobe Bryant's like. Seriously, shit like that, I think it's stupid, and it muddies the water, because one false allegation do ruin some men's lives. Stop ignoring that fact, right? Because you are belittling something so you can enhance something, and I think that's stupid, right? I think that ruins ruins the conversations. So because it makes you put blinders on and shit like that. So what I was like, I'm not discounting the shit men go through. So that's the thing where you shouldn't discount, because if you discount one side, you're gonna have that one side discounting the other side. I think we don't need to do that shit. What we need to do as a collective, as human beings, is support each other, understand each other, be there for each other. There's no love between us anymore, right? This whole gender war thing, this whole divide, it hurts us. Women need men. Men need women, okay? Yeah, we can't get on the same page. Because in my honest opinion, women won't get anything done without the support of men. Men will not be happy in life, be content in life, have a purpose in life without women. So I just think a lot of this is really ridiculous. And one of the things that I think helps these situations that happen to women is the support of, giving women the strength to fight. That's the thing. I'm actually really tired of this because I've been seeing a whole bunch of these videos, particularly women, saying how physically unattractive they are, okay? Because they are, I don't know, I mean, they're not what the world would consider 7s and 8s and 9s, right? Like magazine or high-level subscriber, follower count pages. This is a thing where I've said this before, that we have a epidemic or problem with being average. And I think one of the problems I've said is that we have so many women coming online, and I mean the comments, right, of women commenting on other women's page saying, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're amazing, you're a queen, you're a goddess, you're a 10. It is inflating women's egos to the point where these women that believe that, all the other women online saying that you're a 10, but yet in their life, they're not living life as a 10. They're not getting the results like a 10 would get. So a lot of these women are dejected because, what's going on? I thought I'm a 10. I thought I'm a 10. And now so many women can't comprehend that, you know what? You don't have to be a 10. I think most people, most women, most men are average. Most are not ugly, and most are not gorgeous, right? Most men are not conventionally handsome, but most men are not drop dead ugly. I think we are creating a society where we are putting down or belittling being average. Because in the dating market, right? We have so many women viewing average men as ugly.
So they will look down on if average men want them. Oh, what's going on? All these ugly men want me. But when honestly, you yourself is very average. Yet we are inflating women's egos. So women either think that you're either really ugly, which you're not. Most women are not. Most men are attracted to most women, or you are drop dead gorgeous, which most women are not. Women can't comprehend being average. So a lot of women think, oh, being average is ugly. We are messing up people's mindsets, and I just think we're going about this the wrong way. I really do, and it's affecting so many people. I think this is the new, I don't know, 90s unhealthy body image, where being average is so disgusted by so many people. It is really tiring. What is it like that? The chop girl, right? The one that coined men are being chopped. Seriously, I was like, I've seen on this thing. It's either so many women are saying that, oh my God, I see so many gorgeous women with ugly men. Yet these are the same women that go to average-looking women's pages and say, oh my God, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. Yet if you see the same value, right, attraction value in a man, you will call them ugly. It's like we are messing up actual attraction levels. We are really destroying people's views of what's average, what's actually top-tier gorgeous, top-tier handsome. I think we're messing up people's brains. I think we are. And I don't know, it is sad to see so many people average, but yet they're depressed and believe they're ugly. It really is. It seems like it's really depressing that you see so many women call men ugly constantly, like literally you're shaming men, calling, oh my God, all these men are ugly, all these men are ugly. It's like I've seen like the top woman said, oh my God, it's like so rare to see a good-looking man. All these men are ugly. It's like, seriously, you're average at best, and all you view other men as ugly. I'm just feeling like we have such a epidemic of egotistical women, women that don't really understand attraction levels, of women just easily putting down men. I don't know, it's just really tiring in my opinion, what women are doing to the dating landscape and what women are effectively doing to other women's and men's mindset. It is very harmful. I believe women are the source of body shaming, of, just depression. I believe women are the source of depression for a lot of women and for a lot of men. So, I don't know, it's just tiring.
You know what, the whole coffee date situation or talk that's going around, which always comes back around, where if you are unattractive, you should lower your standards and stuff like that. I want to talk about this, okay? I support everyone and anyone to have standards, boundaries, and preferences, right? We all have, it's within our right to choose what we want. But here's my take on this as well, that at the end of the day, we have to decide what we want. So let's say this, okay? You are, and it's easier to just be more of a number scale. If you are a 3, a 4, okay, in attraction level, and then your standards is, you know what, I need a man, and again, this is typical, right? This is rhetoric. This is average rhetoric. Oh, I need a man to be a 7, an 8, a 9, okay, top tier. You know, however you see it, right? I need, like, if you are below average, you need a man to do above average things, or whatever. It is fine for you to have whatever, like I said, standards, preferences, boundaries you have. It should be promoted, but you gotta look. You have to look. It's about the results. It's about the results you want. So let's say this: you do get dates with these men, okay? The 7s, the 8s, and the 9s, while you are yourself a 4 or a 3. Yet you can never get these men to commit to you. These men are always cheating on you. These men are always lying to you. But then that's why self-reflection is so important. You gotta review: do I even qualify for these men? Can I get these men to settle down? Because women have to understand, it is true. It's never a flex that you can get a man. That is not a flex. That is not a flex. One, I believe what's true flex: can you get a man that you want? Can you get a man that would love you, respect you, actually treat you like the queen you think you are? Can you? That is more of a flex. One, and it could be both, right? Either or. A man that you want. Can you get a man that you want to settle down for you? Or can you get a man that maybe you don't necessarily want, i.e. he's the 8s and 9s, but he's a 5, but he treats you like a queen. He treats you like you think you deserve. I think those two scenarios are more of a flex than can you just get a man, because it's not that hard. For women, it's very easy to get a man. The thing is, can you get a man to treat you how you want to be treated? I think that's more of a flex. And a lot of women who, what a lot of men see is that, let's say, women that are 3s and 4s, they have such these high standards. Yet, usually, you'll see these women still in the dating market. Cannot get a man to settle down. Cannot get a man to commit to her. Cannot get the man that she wants to commit to her. So, yes, a lot of these men will say, oh, you have too high standards because you are not getting the men that you want. You're not getting the men to settle down for you, to love you, to all this stuff. Because I've heard plenty of women say, oh, I've dated men that are, 6 foot in the past. I've dated men that are 6 figures in the past. I've dated men that are romantic, that would, not take me on a coffee date, but would take me on a restaurant date or whatever. Okay, great. How did that turn out? Did that produce a long-term, healthy, good relationship?
I'm not sure I understand.
And usually, it didn't. I saw another woman said, "Oh, I dated plenty. All the men I dated were romantic. Never took me on a coffee date. They were, they opened doors for me. They pulled out chairs for me. These men were so romantic." And she said the longest relationship she ever had was 3 months. I think a lot of women are the definition of insanity. They repeat the same things over and over again, hoping for different results, when in actuality, you're just insane. Because you don't actually, this is why I've said this before, where women don't gain wisdom, because they don't learn from other people's mistakes, let alone learn from their own mistakes. So this is, maybe this is like, I'm not saying this is all men think like this, but maybe this is a chance to understand why men say lower your standards, because maybe you don't fit your standards. Maybe your standards are not right for you. Now, like I said, everyone and anyone should have standards and boundaries. If you want to, if you have no complaints about the dating market, if it is what it is, you will stick to your guns no matter what, then cool. But usually women that have these high standards then come on to the internet and complain to the world, men lie, men cheat, I can't find a man to commit, all this. Well, then again, you wonder why men say lower your standards. That's just, that's just way where women don't understand why certain men say certain things. And I'm just saying, like, that's something why, that is what men mean sometimes when they say lower your standards, because they get women, they understand that women will eventually complain about dating. Oh, like I said, I can't find a man to commit, men lie, men cheat. Well, then it's the men you aren't entertaining, the men that may fit your standards, yet it doesn't get you the results that you deem you want. I want to talk about the myth when it comes to DV court cases, or how women view DV, SV court cases. A lot of women don't understand. They constantly say that the court doesn't believe women and stuff like that, or people don't believe women. This is the thing where, no, that is not true. People don't, the court system, police, whatever, they don't automatically disbelieve women. But a lot of women, and in my honest opinion, they actually, police or courts actually jump to the conclusion of believing in women. Personal opinion, but I'm not basing that on any studies. But what at least is that they don't just jump to the conclusion of disbelieving women. A lot of women seem to not understand how our court system work. You are innocent until proven guilty. That is just how it is. That is the tenet of our justice system. So the problem that a lot of women are facing is that the burden of proof is lie with the prosecution, lie with you putting, I wouldn't say blame or anything, but putting you accusing someone else, right? The burden of proof is you, on you as the one who is accusing someone. That is sadly, right? Or if not, I don't know if I call it sadly, but that's just how it works. It's just how it works. So a lot of women can't seem to understand that, oh, you should automatically believe women, and women don't need to prove anything. Just believe them. That is honestly a recipe for disaster, and very, very dangerous. It is very dangerous to just believe anyone automatically. No proof needed, right? No proof needed, just believe them. That is stupid. That is very stupid. So I wish more women understand that concept. It's just how our society works. Now, to think that, you should not report anything, or the court system is always against women. It is proven that prosecution and conviction rates for domestic violence, for sexual violence, all that stuff, it's more than half of prosecution results in criminal convictions happen. Okay, more than half. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's like 100%. Of course not. But to think that, women's conviction rates are for these heinous crimes are zero or practically nothing is disingenuous. It's very disingenuous. So, because women like to push out these, we have so many terrible men that are not convicted, that are set free, or that no punishment happens. That is false. That is false. So, like I said, it's not like an outrageous number, like 100% of men that are prosecuted are convicted. No, but more than half are convicted. So I just find it like women's narrative is very disingenuous, and it's just trying to push the narrative that they are victims, not of just men, but of society as a whole. That is very disingenuous. It's actually very false. It's very misleading, and I honestly believe that it's proving a lot of men right. You just want to be a victim. You just want to be a victim. You will fight to be a victim. So I just think it's disingenuous. I recently did a video where a guy approached women, or a guy asked these women in the gym a question. Would you want a man to approach you? And these women said no. In the gym, okay, that's the context. And then I also showed within the comments of women saying that this is terrible, I would love a man to approach, so on and so on. Okay. And then under my comment section, yes, women said, men should be approached. It would be, as long as he does it respectfully, it's fine. Here is something that I believe a lot of women seem to not understand or able to comprehend, because a lot of women think with their emotions, not with logic. So, why did I say this? A lot of women don't understand that it is dangerous. The unsocial cohesiveness of women's narrative, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. Yes, I understand everyone is an individual. But here's the thing with society, right? Here's the problem with society. You cannot tell what individual is what. You can't. You can't. So here, let me say this. There are some women that are fine with you approaching. Some women
are not fine with you approaching. And then you have women saying, okay, that's true, but everyone is an individual, so just approach respectfully. Understandable. But here's also another problem, another layer to that. Some women want you to chase. Some women believe no isn't actually a no. They want you to chase. They want to play games, right? They want to play games. Some women don't, right? But that's the problem. That's the problem where a lot of people, particularly women, can't see. They don't see the logic. They don't. Because they don't care. Women really don't care. Women don't really take the time to comprehend the world around them. Women don't. So here's the problem that women can't empathize with or understand, because women don't give a shit, is that men understand the social network. Men understand it. Men know that there are some women that want you to play those games, and then there are some that don't. Men don't know which one is which. So for some men, right, maybe some men that don't give a shit themselves, they will play that game with all women he approaches. While there are some men that do care and won't play that game with no woman. That's the thing where a lot of women seem to not comprehend. And that is why we have the social dynamics that we do have. Okay? That's why when women complain, oh, men are harassing me. Well, I'm sorry. It is the problem with women. How women in general do not have social cohesiveness. They don't. So this is what I always say, or I support. We need to change the social dynamics. Women should be approaching. Only women, in my personal opinion. Only women should be approaching. Or let's say the majority of approaching is done by women. The majority of pursuing is done by women. That's my personal opinion. It's not going to change, right? I don't think social dynamics will necessarily change. But that is why some men believe what they believe, in an instance where they believe women should approach. Because I always think that women are funny in this way, that they don't understand. It is not men that do bad things. It is bad men that do bad things. What I say that is that women think that, oh, men don't listen. You know what? I say don't approach, or I say do respectful, whatever. Men do listen. Guess what? You now get the men that do listen, okay? They stop approaching. They don't even bother. But we will always have bad men. We will always have bad people. So now women are only stuck with bad men in generality. Okay, I'm talking in general. Women are only stuck with bad men. Bad men who believe to approach, right? Only approach. Bad men that, you know what, believe that it's a game, right? It's a game. That no doesn't always mean no. This is the issue that a lot of women seem to not be able to comprehend. You got good men to listen. You got good men to listen. The problem is bad men would do bad things. Why would they listen? They don't give a shit. So now women in totality, in general, are now stuck with bad men doing bad things. So I want to talk about the ideology that married men live longer, or married men are happier. I read the study from Harvard, right? Harvard EDU. And after reading the study and looking into it a little bit, usually the study is the participants are usually single and married. That's the comparison. Or some parts of the study where they do compare men in relationships to men that are married. There's not that much difference. But yes, there's more difference between married men and single men. And we keep on thinking that it's marriage that is the key factor. And in my opinion, in a good marriage, right? A good marriage is the key factor. In my opinion, when you read it a bit more and dissect it a bit more, actually, it's just a healthy relationship. Now, hopefully, marriages usually should be the healthy relationship. But if you look at it from a step back and logically, what does marriage get you that a good relationship doesn't? The only real next layer of difference is just the paper. Other than that, there's not that drastic level of difference. So, because I honestly believe if you add in the factor of the potential divorce, so the men that can get a divorce, negating the parts of, let's say, marriage, it kind of, in my opinion, lowers the effectiveness of marriage. Now, I would say this, because people always use men that are married are more happier. That's why men benefit from marriage. And in my opinion, that is a disingenuous argument, because men don't benefit from marriage, in my opinion. I believe women benefit from marriage. Why? Not because of the marriage itself, but because of the divorce. And I'm not saying that, all women are happy about divorce. No, I'm saying if you compare the two, right, the two genders, who benefit more from marriage, from divorce, it is women. Because you can't get divorced without marriage. And the likelihood of anyone benefiting, right, the likelihood of anyone benefiting from a divorce, well, it would be women. I'm not saying automatic divorce, women benefit, automatic marriage, women benefit. No, I'm just saying if you compare the two people who would benefit, it is women. Now, I would say this, men benefit from a happy, long-term relationship, because what a man can get from a marriage, he can get from a good relationship without the fear of a divorce, without the pressure of a divorce. So I think that negates the downfall of a marriage. So I agree. Men benefit from, I see this more, that men benefit from a long-term relationship with a woman, a good woman. While I honestly believe women benefit from a marriage, if they do at all. Again, I'm not saying automatic a marriage women benefit. No, I'm saying if anyone benefits at all, it would be a woman. And it would be because of a divorce, if anyone benefits at all. And you read again, like I said, you read the studies and you really dig in deep of it, right? One of the key things is health. And they say that, I mean, in this particular Harvard health study, they don't necessarily say what contributes, right? How does marriage contribute to it? It's just these men are more healthier. Now, let's hypothetically, I probably could look into other ways to see it deeper, but let's hypothetically say where men try to be more healthier because they have a woman, they have someone they love, so they're happier, they try to be more healthier. You could think the same thing in a relationship, in just a good long-term relationship, where he's with someone he loves. Why wouldn't he be healthier? Why wouldn't he try to be healthier? That's where I get on, like, anything you could say how men benefit from a marriage, essentially men will benefit from a long, good term relationship. That is it. So, I don't know, I'm reading all this and like, so I mean, I just want to say that because a lot of people use this as a gotcha kind of, thing, gotcha kind of study, okay, that men benefit from marriage. It's men that want commitment, or it's men that want marriage, or, men's advice not to get married is is false and shit like that. I'll say this, where I already said that I don't necessarily believe that marriage is the important factor. I say healthy long-term relationship. And I say this, where when men advise other men not to get married, it is because of divorce. And I don't believe I'm not in the side where other men tell men to, increase your body count, have sex with a lot of women, all that stuff. I also believe that high body count for men is not a healthy thing. So I believe and I support, find a woman that you love, you treasure, and that would love you, respect you, and also treasure you. That, right? Commit to someone you love. That is the most important thing. Okay? Rather than get married or have a huge ass body count. That's my opinion. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? So, I'm watching true crime, okay? About this kid, 18-year-old, who killed his mom. And just, did things to the body. And it got me thinking that, it's something that we don't talk about. And this kid, he seems pretty sane, right? He knows what he's doing. I don't know. He's just an evil person. He's just an evil person. But this is the thing where I believe what's wrong with a lot of young men. They say that he's mediocre, right? And like grades are mediocre, no friends, doesn't like school, doesn't really have much hobbies. All he does is just sit home and play video games. And what I find is the actual problem with a lot of these young men is that we have a generation of men that have no directions, no goals, no purpose. I honestly believe men that are at their best or getting towards their best is a man with direction, a man with goal, a man with a focus, And that's why a lot of times back in the old days, young men that are like that, they go into the military. They go into the military to give them some purpose, to give them a goal, to give them a direction. And here's another thing where a lot of young men, where they knew their goal was to work hard so you can get a family, so you can provide for a family. Now, family as the goal and purpose. But now we have a generation, I'm not saying this, I'm blaming on women, is that women don't need men, and a lot of women's standards are a whole lot higher. So a woman that is average, like same attraction level, same dating level as, let's say, like these types of men, these types of young boys, well, they have more options than ever, thanks to social media, thanks to the world being more global. And they have, honestly, higher expectations, higher standards, and different priorities. Now they may not put so much emphasis on maybe needing a provider or that importance on needing a man at all, or needing to have a family, because more women are having kids later in life, or even not at all. So a lot of young men don't know what to do in life. That's why I also think why a lot of young men don't even want to go to school or don't even try to get jobs, because what's the point in their mind, right? They think, what's the point? What am I going to get out of having a job or going to school? And also, a lot of these young men are raised by single mothers, or they have shitty fathers. And this is the thing where a lot of these young men don't have guidance, don't have mentors, don't have good fathers. Because I honestly believe that, just like women, in the sense that women have changed their focus and, I don't need no man, so I'm focused on my own individual happiness. A lot of young men never thought like that. I should just focus on my own individual happiness. Their purpose was family, right? Their purpose was family, or their purpose was being a contributor of society, right? Go to the military, stuff like that. But now, they don't. They don't have that purpose. And that's the thing where I think we gotta put a lot of young men to understand that we should focus on ourselves, improving ourselves, mentally, physically, financially, not for women, but for ourselves. Okay, so we can be productive adults, so we can gain the freedoms and enjoyments that we want. A lot of men are not desiring to travel the world. A lot of men aren't, necessarily materialistic, so they don't get enjoyment by buying things. And a lot of men don't see the purpose in it. But at the end of the day, I just think that a lot of men have trouble finding purpose in life. So I don't know. I had that kind of problem when I was young. I want to think about, oh, my purpose is I want to find a girlfriend. I want to find a girlfriend. Until later in life, I figured, no, that's not that important, or that's not the end all to be all. If I don't have that, doesn't mean that I'm so depressed. I'm just, I hate my life. No, I found different purposes in life. I found different goals, different directions in life. And we have a lot of young men just misguided. They don't know what to do in life. So I don't know, I'm just basically saying that a lot of men don't have good mentors, don't have good teachers, don't have good support systems. So I don't know, I find that sad and depressing. And a lot of men are just too focused on women. I think, because I always feel like our biggest weakness, men as men, is women. Our biggest weakness. And if we make our strength ourselves, right? I've been working on myself for myself to be a man that I'm proud of. And we don't have enough men thinking like that, right? Be the best version of yourself. Doesn't mean that you have to be, have many women, be top tier good looking, be wealthy, but just where you can find happiness in your life or contentment in your life, not depression. So I don't know. I was just thinking stuff like that while watching this thing on a serial killer. So this is my critical thinking, being honest moment. You hear so many women say or are so much against misogynistic men, toxic men, just terrible men. Or say that, talk about the lonely male epidemic. But when you actually, look at the situation, look at it, take a step back, and look at the picture as a whole. When you look at most of the, DV cases, or even SV, whatever, all the cases of crime against women, when you look at it, the majority of perpetrators of those cases are usually the men that women pick. It is someone you already know. Someone you are usually in a relationship. Most of the cases that involve DV, SV, whatever, usually any crime against women, it is perpetrated by her man, right? The man she chose. And you also think about this. Any man that, or I believe most of the men that you would consider cheaters, liars, toxic, violent, whatever, like the worst types of men. Usually, these men are in relationships. Usually these men don't necessarily have a problem with women. I mean, problem with getting women. Because I think a little while back, everyone can know, Wade Wilson, the murderer, right, of women, of 2 women he dated. 2 women he dated. That was his girlfriends. And you also see that plenty of women are, during that time, plenty of women, I think it was over 1,000 women, sending him fan letters. So, and of course, I'm not saying all women are like this, but you have to look at the picture where, the whole lonely male epidemic and the whole women complaining about men. Yet, I find it funny. The worst types of men in this world they usually have women. They usually are with somebody. So it's like the critical thinking what I'm talking about, like, how can you, right, say that, oh, the lonely male epidemic is because men are jerks? Really? Because I'm pretty sure the jerks have girlfriends. The jerks don't have issues with getting a girl. Right? The jerks are the ones who are cheating. The jerks are the ones who are able to manipulate and lie and get a woman. I don't believe that it's the lonely men are the ones getting women and cheating on them, right? Or getting women and lying to them, or getting the lonely men are not getting with women and abusing them. It's usually the men that are already in relationships. And like I said, critical thinking. The men that are the women that experience violence or whatever, abusive whatever kind. It's in a relationship. It's in a relationship with a man that the woman chose to be with. So, talking about, the lonely men or it's the worst type of men, really? I'm pretty sure the worst types of men are a lot of the men that women are dating. And then to complain about misogyny, the hate of women, complain about, anything you complain about men. Because usually when women complain about men, right, saying men are cheaters, men are liars, men are toxic, men are this, they are usually talking about the men that they chose, the men that they've been on dates with, right? They were attracted to these men, the men that they've been in relationships with, the men that they married, the men that they chose. Because women don't choose all men. Women don't keep, any man around her. Women don't just let any man into her inner circle. She lets a man that, she is essentially attracted to or interested in some form. So, again, critical thinking. Women complain about men a lot, but they're complaining about the men that they chose. They let into their, inner circle. So, it's kind of ridiculous that it shows you that you complain and you say all men are shitty, yet the only example you really have are the men that you chose, right? The men that you are in a relationship with, the men that you are dealing with, the men that you are attracted to. Those are your examples. It's kind of like women lack critical thinking.
I was listening to this story of a woman saying inappropriate things that men have said to her or done around her. You know, men are just like maybe just touching her shoulder, you know, shouldn't be touching her, or saying that he's attracted, men are saying he's attracted to her, whatever. And this is what I never understand, or I'm a big supporter of. Consequences. Tell on them, right? Legally, like, call the cops. Call HR. Always make it, don't just like glance over it. If you have a problem, report it. You know, it's just like how, you know, certain abuse cases where women don't report it, or if they get, you know, SV, right? They don't report it. And this is something that we need to promote more. Report it. Whether they, however they treat you, right? Believe it or not, whatever. Report it. Make it an issue. Make people, you know, have a report. Because the mindset of, you know what, if people don't believe me, I should not. No, stop that. I would say just because that will weaken your argument, and that would just make these terrible people, in particular terrible men, just think that they can do it. I honestly believe more women should just be more proactive. Stop being either scared or negative about, oh, no one's going to believe me, or whatever women may think about. Be proactive and hold people accountable for crossing your boundaries, or being abusive to you. I really think more people should hold other people accountable if they are being terrible and toxic. I want to say this. I get a lot of hate, right? I've been always get a lot of hate because of my opinions, because they're very controversial. But I get a lot of hate from particularly women saying, oh, look at his page, look at his content. It's all about women. It's all about hating on women. One, it's not about hating on women. It's about holding people, and in particularly women, accountable for their actions and words. But it's not about hating. But if you look throughout my content, I've never said, oh, men are better than women. Men never did this. Men never did that. At least on particular things, okay? I go about my content. My viewpoint is that there are plenty of materials out there. Plenty. That shows you the negativity of men. Right? The toxicity of men. Whatever. And I don't disagree. Men cheat. Men lie. Well, I would say this, right? Certain men cheat. Certain men lie. Certain men do bad things. I agree. I never disagree that, oh my God, there's no man that does this. No. I 100% agree. There are men out there that have done these bad things. The issue is that when you look online, there is a narrative that has been built for a long time. Okay? Not even just online, even in like entertainment, right? Movies, TVs, whatever. It's a narrative that's been built where it's always men, right? If it's, I mean, like, people say, what is it? If it's not all men, why is it always men, right? That saying? Because it's always, the blame is always pushed onto men. It's always men that are cheaters. It's always men that are the abusers. It's always men that are perpetrators. It's always men. Well, and this is why I focus my content on what I focus on. To show you that it's not the gender, okay? It's not even the race. It's not the what religion you fall in, whatever. That makes you a bad person. It's just you're a bad person. It's who you are, okay? And that's why I want to show the difference. That's why I want to show that we are perpetuating propaganda. Constantly making one person the perpetrator, the abuser, and the other person the victim. And it's because of either your race or your gender. Right? Women are always victims, men are always the abusers. And that is lies. Those are lies. We constantly try to make a the argument that, oh, women are this, women are amazing, right? Women would never do this. But that's fucking lies. And I literally have hundreds of videos to disprove it. And that is why I do it. Not to show that, oh, men are better and women are terrible. No, because we have plenty of examples of how terrible men can be, or some men are. But do we even have a conversation? Do we recognize how women can be equally just as terrible? We don't. Only in recent years where men are start talking. But when men do talk, you see women jump in and say, oh, you just hate women. No. You're just balancing the scales. Or, in my opinion, just showing that it's not just men. And it's not about being a man or a woman that makes you a bad person. And that is the narrative that I want to create or counter-program, right? Because we are constantly building a narrative that men are terrible. Oh, the male loneliness epidemic. If men are lonely, you think women aren't? No. If men aren't dating anyone, or men have no one, but yet women have people, who do they have? It's like other women. Awesome, right? That's amazing. I'm not, like, a lot of women. I saw another video of women saying that making friends in her later years is very hard. That is true for both men and women. So I don't think a lot of women, or
a disproportionate amount of women are making so much a large amount of friends in their later years. If men are lonely, right, which I honestly think that's not necessarily true, right? I think men is just in a state where they have no one, not just women, they have no one, no friend, no families, no nothing. And I think women are suffering from that too. I'm not trying to make men special. Oh, men are the victims. No, I think society, we as men and women, we're suffering from it. But we want to build a narrative that it's just men that are lonely, men are terrible, men are lonely because they're jerks. Then who are women doing? Who are women dating? Who are women with? That's the thing where I'm just tired. Right? I'm tired of we trying to build a one-way narrative. It's disingenuous. This is the thing where I find women disingenuous. I really do. So I don't know about you, but on my FYP, I've been seeing a lot of things of women saying that men follow other men, right? Like, let's say if they find a woman attractive, they have to follow the lead or follow if other men find her attractive too. Or if men will marry someone because all their friends marry someone. Now, why I say women are disingenuous, because women ignorantly, purposely ignore reality. We as humans are social creatures. I don't disagree that there are some men, maybe even a lot, that would have FOMO, right? Or that would follow the crowd, that would follow, the masses. But that's everyone, or that's anyone. Women do it. I mean, like, I find it. This is why I find it disingenuous, because women know that women do it. Like, if they see their friends, the whole friend group, either get married or have kids, they have FOMO. Like trends, hey, TikTok trends. You see women do the same thing too. Women will follow. I really find that's why it's like, men's not coming out here and saying, oh, look at this. Women are always following this, and then make it seem like men don't do it too. Men do. I just find it like I said, disingenuous, a weak argument. That you want to try to paint a picture that it's only men, and ignore the fact that women do it too. Just like women constantly say, men are abusive, men are cheaters, men are bad, whatever. I think I have this is why, right? People always say that, you hate women because you only show women. Yeah, because we have a narrative that constantly just show men. We don't show the other side. So why would I need to show the other side? I don't disagree that men can be cheaters, men can be bad, men can be abusive. I've never disagreed to that. The problem is we don't show the other side because we don't want to show the other side. We don't want to paint the negative picture of women. But why? I just want to show that we are no different. We are no different. Yet the gender war thing, women purposely try to show that, they're better than men. They're different than men. And it's like, shit like that is really tiring. Right? I don't know. I find it such a weak, disingenuous argument, and you can see the illogicalness of it, where seriously, and you see the comment section, so no one mentions it, right? At least I haven't seen it, saying that, what? How's this even a conversation? Men do it, yes, but women also do it, and it's been known that women do it. It's been put in the media. It's been known that women would follow, but we want to purposely ignore it. I want to talk about the whole girls thing. How that is a concept where you are a sheep. I've said this where I support men. More specifically, I support good men. I don't care that you're a man. I don't. What I care about is that if you are a good man, and you've shown it, you've proven it. It is your existence. It is your past. It is your present. It is your future. Where you are a good man. You care about others. You're productive. You're not, you work to be the best version of yourself. You care about others. You are a man that can be, or is, or will be a good father, a good husband, a good friend. You care about others. It's not all about yourself. You're not selfish. You're logical. You've done self-reflection. You're accountable. You're not delusional, right? In my thing, what I view as a good man. Now, I support if you're a good woman too, but I mean, I'm more thinking like, no one cares about men, right? No one cares about men. So that's why I would say I support men, good men. Not just because you're a man. I don't give a shit, right? Because, yeah, there are plenty of terrible men out there. Just like there are plenty of terrible women out there. But we don't know how to distinguish between people. Okay? These whole girls thing. I've always seen a lot of women neglect the toxicity of other women. Just because I've seen women say, a man that cheats is terrible, but you know what? A woman that cheats, he deserves it. He must have done something. A man that, abuses a woman, he's disgusting. He's toxic masculinity. But you know what? A woman that abuses a man, he must have done something. It's like, what? Seriously, where's the logic in that? Where's the morality in that?
A lot of women, I believe, they're supporting women just because they're women. And then the women that, do care about other women, but hold women accountable and care only about the logic. They support women, right? Like I said, they support good women, but they see the logic. They see the toxicity. So they don't judge people purely on, gender. Okay, they don't negate or neglect things purely on gender. But women call those women pick-me's. To insult women that hold women accountable. That's the thing where it shows you that you're a sheep, right? That that you follow the crowd, right? What was the thing? Homosocial or something? I forgot. Whatever. But your logic is based on delusion, on such superficiality. It's not based on actual logic, right? I don't support men because they're men. I support men because they're good men, and there's not enough support for men. I like it when women support women because they're good women. Not just because they're women. I don't give a shit what she does. As long as she's a woman, the sisterhood is strong, right? It's kind of disgusting in my view, right? And women like that are absolutely ridiculous, and they are absurdly toxic. But I don't like it when people do that with gender. I mean, with race. I support someone just because they're black or Asian or something like that. I think that's disgusting. Okay, so I want to talk about the self-proclaimed good guy, and because I saw just women talking about it. Okay, so women's point of views on good guys and how they're not, right? How they're fake. So I'm not. You can take this as advice or not, because I don't really give advice because I'm a nobody, right? I'm just an average guy giving my opinion. So take it as advice or take it as my opinion, whatever. There's a reason why people say marry before you carry, because it's not. It will be good that you have that level of commitment before you have the next level of commitment, i.e., children. But I believe, in my personal opinion, the view of marrying before you carry is bad. Hopefully, by the time you marry the person, you know the person inside and out. You have taken the time, put the effort in to vetting the person properly. So this person, you've been with her year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. There is almost nothing this person can do that will surprise you. You know them inside and out. You know their families, you know their history, you know their friends, you know how the thoughts of their futures. You know them inside and out. Okay, you know that you know their moods, you know their temperament, you know that if they're an angry drunk or not. You know this person, and that's the point. It's the point about take your time, get to know someone, vet them. Yes, I agree. People are two-faced. People do lie. Yes, maybe particularly men. But the thing is, no one lies forever. Right? At least I don't know anyone. Okay, no one can lie forever. No one is that masterful, right, at lying. So this is the thing. Why? Also, the high body count thing is that don't give your body to just any man. Back in the day, women would not give her body to a man unless they're in an actual committed relationship. Yeah, wait. The men that say that, the men that participate in hookup culture, the men that participate in rosters, the type of men that women want. They don't care about body count. They don't care. They love the sexual freedom that women perceive because they benefit from it. So why would they care about you, committing to you? Because they still get your body. But true good guys, they're not really about the body. They're not really about. They will be. I've said this in my relationships where I hate two-faced men. I really do. I hate two-faced men. I've said this where what you see now is what you'll see on my deathbed. I can't imagine myself changing that drastically in any way. Okay, maybe my flavors would change, but nothing drastic. Nothing drastic. So that's why, I get it. Men do lie, but I think the problem is that women lie to themselves more. If she finds him attractive, she will ignore red flags. She will ignore red flags and just lie to herself. And that is how the fake good guys really get their claws in, get able to bypass their defenses. Now, women, the unattractive fake good guys, yeah, women were more perceptive of their red flags quicker and easier. But I don't think those men are the problem, because those men aren't getting the relationships out of these women. It is the guys that women already choose. So I always think whatever man you choose, take your time and get to know the person. But I would say be equitable. I don't like the thing where coffee dates are a good thing because no one feels taken advantage of. Okay, he's not feeling like he's paying money. He has to pay money for you and get nothing in return, and you don't feel like obligated because he's paying money and you need to give something in return. Get to know someone properly, vet them properly. Ask questions, learn about someone's past. I think dating has become so unserious. So many people say, "Oh, we're rushing to get these questions." No, you should stop it with a mindset that let's just take our time with asking certain questions. No, Ask serious questions. Because I think one of the most important things you can do in life, one of the biggest things that can affect your life, is who you partner up with. Oh, and just to add thing, I think good guys are, even if they say they're good guys, it's about a life, right? It's about your moralities. It's about actions. Their life has shown it. People around them would perceive them as that. How they're thinking, they're not perfect. No one's perfect. You know, you could have messed up. You could have done bad things in your life, but you take accountability for it. You improve yourself. You are a man that cares about others. I honestly believe, and not two-faced, right? You try your best to be good. You try your best to be a good person. You try your best to, show you're a good person. Show that that's who you are. It's about action. It's about effort. I've always said trust shouldn't be just given; it should be earned. So being a good person is just who you are. It's who you've been. It's who you present yourself. It's your the image of your actions throughout your life. Okay. So again, that takes time of getting to know the person. That takes effort of actually seeing and understanding and vetting.
Being a baby daddy, an active baby daddy, is more important than being a active single mother. There's a bit of a conversation that's going on with some content creators talking about how men talk about the stigma that of single mothers. It is 100% different than being a baby father, being a baby daddy, particularly one that's active in their child's life. Because here's the thing, statistically, single fathers, they raise better adults. Single father households do vastly better than single mother households. So this is a thing where if men, like certain creators talk about, it is a benefit for women to marry before you carry. It is in the hopes that she will keep a family together. Because in all honesty, women are not raising good, productive adults. They're not. It is a statistical fact that most mentally ill people they come from single mother households. That is a statistical fact. Most people who are troubled in life are coming from single mother households. So again, it is a good advice for women to marry before you carry. So most likely you can keep your family together. Now, the same wouldn't be the best advice for a man. If he can still be active in his children's life, if he can get a child without the shackles of a marriage, all the more power to him. Now, I don't say this, okay? I believe that long-term relationships are a benefit for men. I don't necessarily believe marriage is a benefit for men, because marriage can lead to divorce, and divorce is 100% not a benefit for men. Now, I wouldn't say that it's 100% a benefit for women, but compared to the two, men and women, divorce benefits women a whole lot more than it does men. So that's why I see that marriage, because of divorce, benefits women more. I'm not saying that women are happy with divorces, or that men don't benefit at all from marriages and stuff like that. Men do. But what men can get from a marriage, men can also get from just a long-term relationship. And I think, take away the chance of divorce, a long-term relationship would be so much more better for men. So I said this in other videos, that two things can be true at once. I don't think all advice need to be universal. So giving advice to a woman, you don't have to give that same advice to a man, because it might not make sense to said men. You can give advice to, let's say, the black community. It doesn't mean that same advice would be effective or a good advice to, let's say, the white community. So not all advice should be or is universal. So, and again, men have proven statistically that single fathers do well. Okay, active, good single father households do better than single mother household. So I don't think it's hypocritical. I don't think any man is a hypocrite if he is, let's say, a single father, or he is not married to his baby mama, but he's in his child's life, and he's giving advice, or he's talking about how single mothers are epidemic, or single mothers are a bad mark in society, because they are. And let's say this: in most relationships, marriage or just regular relationships, women are the ones to initiate breakups or divorce more often than men. Women leave relationships of all kinds more often than men. So in reality, even if a man didn't choose to marry his baby mom, there's a high likelihood that she left it. It wasn't his choice.
I've been slowly building this theory that boredom is the most dangerous emotion a woman can have. That I believe that is that 70% of divorces are filed by women. It's not because the man can't pick up his own laundry or fold his own clothes or cook his own meals or that he's cheating or I don't know, that you guys argue about money. I believe the majority of divorces, the reasoning behind it, which is usually, what is it, irrevocable differences, the real cause is boredom. She's bored of him. She's not happy anymore. He doesn't make her happy. The relationship doesn't make her happy. She doesn't feel any chemistry with him anymore. She doesn't have the vibe with him anymore. She doesn't have the spark, the butterflies. She's bored with her life. The monotony, the habitualness, right? Going to work, picking up the kids, coming home, cooking, going to sleep, or watching Netflix. Waking up again, going to work, repeat and rinse and repeat. He's a good husband. Because when you listen to what women say about why they divorce, they usually say that he's a good husband. He's a good husband. He's a good father. I want something more. I was unhappy. If women are bored, they will fuck up your life. They will leave you, divorce you, cheat on you, destroy your life. If she is bored, there's nothing. She will destroy everything to seek happiness, to end the monotony, end the boredom. And this is a thing where I honestly believe that why women constantly go for the men that cheat, lie, abuse, manipulate, they're narcissists. Why women go for these types of men? Because these types of men keep women guessing, keep women on their toes, make life not boring. This is, in my honest opinion, why women are attracted to the types of men that will more than likely cheat on them, make their life chaotic. Why women go for the rappers? Why do women go for the athletes when they know that these men cheat? You know these men cheat, and then you complain that these men are cheating on you. You knew it. You knew these high value men, these athletes, these entertainers, these rappers. You knew these CEOs would have a mistress, would cheat on you, would whatever. You knew it. You knew it. Why go for them? Because these types of men, they have money. Okay, they have money. That's one thing. But these types of men keep life interesting, keep life not so boring. Okay, that's what I've been building the theory of why women go for these types of men. When women know that there are men that would be stable, that would never do them dirty, that would be loyal to them, that would love them, respect them. Why do women divorce these men? Why do women leave these men? Why do women not go for these men? Because of boredom, in my personal opinion. Women do not deserve sympathy in domestic abuse cases. If you're not triggered, okay, if you give me some time, I don't mean everything. I've been listening to a bunch of abuse cases, right, stories and stuff like that. Now I'm not saying all cases. I'm saying these particular cases of women that know these red flags, because a lot of women, in my opinion, and I'm not basing this necessarily on some kind of fact or study. On my opinions, a lot of these abuse cases, women see these red flags, they go back to said men. So these men have hurt them, and yet they go back to them. So I'm talking about the abuse cases where women see the red flags. Women know these men are violent, abusive, but yet women either go back to them or ignore these red flags, and then said terrible things happen to them. Now, I don't say women deserve abuse. I don't say that, right? Women do not. They do not deserve it. What I'm saying is that they don't deserve sympathy. Because here's the thing where we are all adults. Sympathy for the actions we take is idiotic, in my opinion. We have the, free will. It's free will. So we chose it. So in these cases, like I said, I don't say all cases. I'm just saying these particular cases where women either know these men are red flags, see these red flags, or these women go back to these men multiple times. I'll say the same thing with when women, go back to cheaters or accept cheaters. They go back to liars, accept liars. At the end of the day, we are all adults. We're all adults. And I believe a lot of these women, I believe a lot of these women think that, oh, he's going to change. He's not really like this all the time. Or, he does love me. No, you would not, you would not accept that from a man you're not attracted to, you don't love. So why do you accept it from a man that should love you? He should love you. He should treat you better. At the very least, he shouldn't be laying hands on you. But women accept that. This is how I see it, is that this is what a lot of people do in the sympathy, the like you can't blame the victim and stuff like that, is that you are enabling people. You're enabling bad behavior. You are taking away accountability. The accountability, okay? It's like I'm not saying that she deserves to be abused. No. Accountability is you chose that man. You saw those red flags. You choose to ignore it. You chose that man. You choose to come back to them because I believe I will look to. If I feel like I will look at statistics, but I believe women more often than not women go back to these abusers, or the next man they pick is another abuser, and so on. The next man after that is an abuser. So she has a propensity to pick toxic men. So the sympathy that women give these other women, or the taking away accountability. Oh, you did nothing wrong. It's all his fault. You did nothing wrong. Oh, it's like I feel bad for you. Don't blame the victim. You are enabling the victim mentality. You are taking away the accountability of her choice. She chose it. Women choose the men they deal with. 100% in today's day and age, women choose the men they deal with. No man is forcing a woman to be with a terrible man. No, her father, no woman's father is forcing, oh, you need to be with that man. You need to be with that abuser. You need to be with that cheater. You need to be with that liar. No, that is crock of shit. So women 100% choose the men that they be with. So the outcome is although it's not 100%, she deserves, okay? I'm not saying she deserves it, but her outcome is 100% on her. She chose him. So whatever outcome it leads, it's her choice. So I'm not trying to bash the victim. It's more like we are not helping solve the problem. We are putting a band-aid on it. So enabling women's bad behaviors, taking away women's accountability, coddling women, it's not helping them. Because in my opinion, in most cases where these women deal with toxic men, the next man will be toxic. The man after that will be toxic. Women will not learn the lessons. I was listening to a story about a woman pretty much divorcing her husband, saying that she was happy with him, right? Or the marriage seemed perfect. Breaking up her marriage for her student, okay? She's some college, she works in college or whatever. And broken up her marriage because this guy was more exciting. This is the thing where, and then whatever, the guy she broke up the marriage for later on leaves her anyway. It's not about that, but it just made me think about women are easily manipulated. If you have the abilities, right, to manipulate women, the mindset or the lack of conscience to manipulate women, women are easily manipulated. Why? Because this is the thing where I believe that one of the most dangerous emotions a woman can have is boredom. Boredom. If a woman is bored, she will destroy your world. She will leave you, divorce you, cheat on you. If women are bored, they will destroy your world. And if women are bored, they will always be open, okay, for any man that can spice up her life. Give her the spark. Give her the, the chemistry, the vibes that a long-term committed relationship doesn't have anymore. I saw a study where women said they are more easily bored than men when in long-term relationships. Again, boredom for women is probably the most dangerous emotion women can have. And it's dangerous for others, right? The men, whoever commit with women. And it's dangerous for women because they will allow men to manipulate them because it's more exciting. It gives excitement. It gives, new adventures for her. And this is the thing why women are chaotic. They go for the bad boys. They go for, the players, the Chads, the Pookies, whatever, because these men will keep women on their toes, keep women, at a emotional, emotionally unstable environment, right? They will keep women guessing. So women, even though they may want happiness, but chaos, sadness is also a thing a woman can unknowingly desire, because boredom is the number one thing that a woman doesn't want. Boredom. She would deal with sadness rather than boredom. Okay, women don't consciously know that they don't want that, but they rather be sad than be bored. So I think subconsciously that is why women would stay with said terrible men, because terrible men will keep women in a state where you get the dopamine effect of either sadness or happiness. The high levels of happiness, the high levels of sadness, even the instability of guessing what's going to happen, what's he going to do, what's going to go on. That's also a high a woman can get from the dopamine effect from that. So this is why a lot of women pick the terrible men, or they will break up with their stable relationships, good men, and go for a terrible man. So, I was listening to this Reddit story, and one thing that this guy said really resonated with me. Always be aware if a woman says that all the men she's dated have treated her like crap. I was like, exactly. I always, this is a red flag I always have. It's, you have to know what type of men women have dated, what type of men women are attracted to, what type of men women attract. Because that will tell you how big of a red flag she is. Because this is the thing what we don't recognize. It's telling that women constantly go for the liars, the cheaters, the abusers, the women, whatever, the terrible men. Women constantly go for them. So what do you think would be the difference with you? She's settling for you. She doesn't want you. She's not attracted to you. But you are the last option, the stable option. You are, the more responsible option. She's not into you. Because you can see by her history what type of men she's attracted to, what type of men she's into. And it's not you. So you should know by that alone, she's not into you. She's using you. That's the thing where you have to understand. Because if she can't, like you hear all these women saying, oh my God, my ex did this for me, my ex did that to me, my last ex did this, da, da, da. Why were you with these men? Why you constantly get with these men? And then why would you want to be with me now? Because you have a history of being with these men, and now suddenly you want me. Now you want to be with me. Women, in my personal opinion, don't necessarily change what type of men they're attracted to. Now they can change how they go about things, i.e., wake up and know that, you know what, I can't continue dealing with these, womenizers and cheaters, even though I'm attracted to them. Now I need to get with a man that's more stable. So settle. I believe this is the thing. A lot of women will settle for the good guys. They're just not attracted to them. And then you see this, you see the results of it, the consequences of it. A lot of women are divorcing said men they settle for because they come to realize, you know what, I can't stand it. Right? Because sex gets less because they're not attracted to said men. They're not interested in said men. So sex is not big. And like I said, how sex starts decreasing in marriages because I believe women settle for said men. Now, along with that, I think women, because they settle for these men, these more stable men, they get bored. Women get bored easily. And the nice guys, the good guys are when men are stable, when men are predictable, it's boring to women. So at the end of the day, that is why you see women consistently, not all women, but a lot, always go for the terrible men because these men excite women. I just heard this news story from Alabama that a police raid uncovered in like a basement or some kind of secret place underneath the house that they found like children. These disgusting predators kept children locked up to do ungodly things to them and to traffic them, for over a year. This is a thing where I honestly believe our justice system is messed up. It really is. You get people who are booked for drugs, right? I mean, just like if they had weed on them, they get years of it. While people like these criminals that do disgusting things to children, they don't, the punishment does not fit the crime. It really doesn't. People like this need to be chemically, physically castrated, where they don't ever feel any urges ever again. Or they should be just, because honestly, they're not, we don't need these. We don't need these type of absolutely heinous, disgusting people on earth. It is proven. It's not like, oh, maybe they will become innocent. No, maybe they are innocent. No, it's not. It is proven that they are predators, that they are disgusting human beings. They're not even humans. Or, I don't know. Maybe this is how humans are. It's just disgusting. It really is. It's sad and disgusting. And I really wish that we have a actual, president one day that wants to totally revamp our justice system. Because it's one of the systems that I hate the most out of our government. It's disgusting. It really is. So, I don't know. Yeah. I honestly believe if women were men, they would be incels. I just saw a news report on TikTok of a woman going on a date with a man, taking him back to a hotel, drugging him, and then stealing all his stuff and running. And then in the comment section, right? It's a TikTok, so all the comment sections are saying, oh, like, oh, what did he wear? It's like he shouldn't have put himself in that situation, so and so on, right? And just a whole bunch of things like trying to, I don't know, I guess be funny, be satire, whatever. Okay, just saying like, what did he do to provoke her? What was he wearing? You know, I'm pretty sure women are doing it in the way that if it was a man, if it was a woman, something happened to a woman, I guess in the comment section, terrible men would say shit like that. But now, if it's reverse, so you're terrible now? That's the thing where, what are you trying to prove? That you're no different than the terrible men that say that have no empathy, and have no sympathy? You are no different than the terrible men. It says a lot. It says a lot about women that, you know, if it's reverse, you are no different than the terrible men. This is what I always believe, that women don't want equality. They want to be able to be the one to wield the whip. Women don't want equality. They want the power. They want the power, right? They want to become the oppressors. They want to become the men that they hate so much. That's what women want. They don't want to, you know, be better, right? They don't want to be better than these men. Show that they're not as low as these shitty, disgusting men that they complain about. No, they will stoop to the lows of said men. I did another video back too, where a woman, a friend, because her guy friend said something misogynistic, she lit that guy on fire. She lit that guy on fire. On fire for saying something insulting, okay? Lit him on fire. And then in the comment section, same shit. Oh, what did he do? I mean, oh, he did it to, I mean, like, just saying that he shouldn't have been censored on that. Or, you know, just saying all these other things that, like, you know, he's, you know, showing that you're no better, right? No better than the men you know, hate so much. Oh, I had to double check, just saying, like, what was he wearing in that one as well? You ruined this girl's life because she got sentenced, but it's like, women show that if they were men, they would be no better. They would be no better. If they were in the same positions as men, they would be no better. In actuality, women have the mindset of incels. They're highly emotional. They themselves can be trolling. They themselves can be very toxic and abusive. You see proof of it every day, right? Every week. And literally, that report I just told you shows it. So this might be controversial, but stop treating women like princesses and queens. Okay, stop treating them like they're perfect or they're, you know, stop putting them on a pedestal. So I just finished this story about a man who married a single mother. He moved her into his house. He created a separate bank account for fund money and stuff. He put her kids to private school, and then as time goes on, you know, she's using the money like it's nothing, right? Like it's water. She sometimes takes more money of his. Now he's paying for more extra activities for the kids, okay? Come to realize that, you know what? It's actually really fucking hard. It's really hard to raise kids. And now you're raising someone else's kids. Now you're also raising a woman. You're raising an adult as well. So this man's come to realize that, man, shit is hard. So he's telling her to budget. He's telling her to not spend so much. And she gets mad. She gets mad. He's like, oh, what? You know, you gave me this money fund. You put, you did so many expectations for my kids, all this stuff. He's come to realize that this is not easy. This is hard. And then, you know what? He divorced her. He divorced her because he just couldn't do it. He couldn't handle it. This is the thing where a lot of men seem to not realize. Unless your money is infinite, stop doing that. I've learned to, if you're treating a woman like a princess, you better have the money to treat her like a princess for the rest of her life. If you don't, stop it. Treat her like a partner you love. Treat her like a partner you love. That's what you do, okay? Love her, respect her, spoil her in a way that it's not overboard, okay? A lot of men don't realize if you are going to really spoil someone, okay, you set the precedent for the rest of the relationship. So you better be able to keep it up. A lot of men don't realize that, oh, I have to keep up this level of spoiling. And then they find out that, damn, I can't keep this up. I can't buy her Gucci bags every week, every month. I can't, pay for a private school for her kids and then pay for camp, pay for sports, pay for clothes. If you can't do it, if you can't keep it up, don't do it to begin with. Now, why I say my way of spoiling is, yes, maybe a nice bag every once a year, maybe and one extra activity for the kids once it's like moderate. Go about the amount of spend the amount that you can spend. A lot of men don't realize that
we think that, oh, we're gonna spoil her, we get her, and then we're good, we're golden, she's with us, and she won't be expectant. No, you have now created a spoiled princess. You have created a spoiled princess. So if you don't have infinite money, you're not gonna be able to handle that. You're not gonna be able to handle that. And this is why I say treat her like a partner you love. Okay, someone that is sharing in the burdens. And then, you know what, once in a while, every so often, yes, you do something that will spoil her, do something that she will love. Okay, do something that, show your appreciation to her. But do not over spoil her like she's a princess, a queen, and shit like that. You won't be able to handle it. So yeah, stop doing it. This is something that I kind of want to say. I love being a father. I do. And I hate that I have a bad situation, right? Being a baby mama situation shit. So that is heartbreaking. So when listening to just listening to a video of a father saying he hates his kids and all that stuff, or a father doesn't want to be around his kids or take care of his kids and all that stuff, it's heartbreaking, and it's just stupid. This is the thing where I really, and this is where I'm going to hold men accountable, is that I really wish men actually think about it, because I do understand that a lot of men, they like the process of making kids, but they don't like the consequences or the reality that comes with making kids, especially the ones that say that they love kids, or their plan was to make kids, and then you realize that it's a lot of work, or you actually don't love it, and also it's like, I really, really wish more men would just wake up. It's like, one, if you're a selfish person, okay, cool, well then think about it. Having kids, and you don't like it, right? You don't like it. How's that good for you? It drains your money, gives you stress. If you don't like having kids, it's a net negative. So I wish that there would be more men that, that say they want kids or actually plan to have kids, realize the responsibilities that come with having kids. I really wish that more men would, because in my personal opinion, I hate two-faced men. I really do. I hate shitty fathers. I really do. So you don't have to have kids. Okay? You don't have to have kids. That's why it's like, this is why I do hold women accountable, because here's the thing. I wish that the men that will be or are terrible fathers didn't have kids. I wish women were more selective in who they give kids to. Like, figure out how this man acts around kids. Figure out what this man, how he treats kids, how he treats, maybe if he has nephews or nieces, how he treats them, and how he treats responsibility. Because here's the thing where I'll say this, like, a lot of men will not think that fully when it comes to kids. They think, oh, it's fun to have kids, but then what? And this is the thing where it leaves in a situation where you are now a single mom. Whether he was whether he said he wanted kids and then comes out a terrible father. I don't know. It's like, I think there's not enough men to really put enough thought into what it means to be a father. I think women put more thought into being a mother, right? Women have imagined it or whatever more than men have. So, again, this is, like I said, why women probably hate it, why I say hold women more accountable. Because here's the thing, where at the end of the day, men, on balance on probability, men do leave, okay? And then women are stuck with the children. And I was like, and then it's a traumatic experience for the children and all that stuff. And that's why it's like, I don't know. I do wish that more men put more thought into it, the meaning of being a father, the responsibilities of being a father. But men don't. We're talking about reality, right? We're talking about reality. Men don't. And so women put more thought into it. So since women put more thought into it and they can suffer the consequences of the single motherhood, it's not a terrible advice or a terrible saying that men say to pick better. Because I believe that there are plenty of men that knows the responsibility and want to be good fathers. I just think that they're not chosen, okay, or they're not appreciated or whatever. And then we have the bad apples, right? The men that are shitty, that would be shitty fathers. These men have dozens of baby mamas, or in a marriage that he mistreats his kids and wife. I don't know. It just listening to that audio or that video just made me think about that. So. I want to talk about this whole thing that women keep on bringing up as an excuse, right? How they say, men switch up, right? He was one way in the beginning of the relationship, then he's another way whenever later on in the relationship, or men lie. Here's the thing. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Men do lie. People lie. People do lie. But here's the thing where why it this is how you actually make up for that, okay? The manipulation. Stop ignoring red flags. I've talked to so many women, that even these lying men, they said that, oh, you saw the red flags, you ignored it on purpose. So many women, like they knew these men were lying. They just ignore the red flag because what? Infatuation, you're attracted to the guy, whatever. They ignore red flags. A lot, I think, majority of the time, women ignore red flags for whatever reason, like they were attracted to the guy, whatever. Okay. Another thing is that a lot of these women barely knew these men. They barely gave time for these men. This is the thing where why, the vetting period is so important and women do a poor job at it. A lot of women need to understand, you need to know this man in many facets of different situations, right? Know what he's like when he's sad, happy, mad, all these kind of things. Know what he's like when he's with his friends, any and all kind of situations as much as possible. But when you actually listen to a lot of these women's stories, right? When they talk about their relationships, they said, oh, we've been together a year, 2 years, and then, you got a child with him. Some of the baby mama stories I've heard, they know this man for maybe half a year, less than a year, and already have a kid with him. So this is why I don't give a whole lot of credence to when women say men lie or they switch up. Because honestly, you barely gave it time to actually know this man well, right? You barely gave it time. And women don't really try to get to know men all that well. They don't really get to know men that well. Like get to know like his personality, his facets, his hobbies, his quirks. Women do not take the time or bother to really know a man that well. Two, or whatever, is that, like I said, they ignore red flags. If he's attractive enough, if he's charming enough, if he fits whatever quality she likes, she will purposely ignore red flags. Like it will just pass it, right? If he gets angry with her, if he yells at her, she ignores it, right? Or she chalks it up to if she loves him. Plenty of women, if not most, they will ignore red flags for the men they love, right? For the men they attracted to. So really, the whole he switched up, he lied. I think it's just more excuses, because a lot of women willingly fool themselves, into staying with terrible men. So, because like I said, if you even listen to a woman, right, tell her story of her relationship, you will see the red flags in it. You will see the flaws. You will see what she did wrong. So the whole he switched up, he lied. No, most men are not good liars. Most men aren't good liars. Okay, most men are not good manipulators. They're not. So I think it's really weak and poor excuse.
So I had this back and forth with a commenter, and it just got me thinking that I probably wanted to make a full video on it, where I'm talking about protection. That in today's day and age, women constantly talk about men's providing, provision, men, providing. But one thing that women constantly neglect or belittle or not think much of is protection. Because you see all these videos, and I have some of them, where other men, are creepy, are, they cross boundaries. They are very, just terrible men. And I said in those videos that one thing that women keep on forgetting is that the need of a man is protection. With a man around, with your man, with a man that you want, a man that you love, a man that, you want to see a future with, it's the notion that he can provide, protect you. Most of the time, not all the time, but having a man around, again, it's not like 100%, but having a man around helps to deter other men. It helps it. And then she said, "Oh, what are you protecting from other men?" Yeah, this is a thing where a lot of women seem to like live in a delusional world or doesn't live in reality. There isn't a city that you can live in that will be devoid of the opposite gender. There isn't. There isn't a city that you could live in that is devoid of, let's say, terrible people. There isn't. So since men live in reality, that's the thing where men think about, yes, there are good people and there are bad people. That's a fact of life. I said this, unless you, I don't know, live in the woods, live far away from civilization, then yes, you could be away from the opposite gender. But if you don't, you will 100% be near the opposite gender. You will 100% be near potentially harmful people. And one of the things that women neglect or forget or belittle or just don't think much of is that the need of a man to protect. Now, she said, yeah, why can't a woman have a gun? I agree. I'm all for women protecting themselves with a gun too. But we also think about this. In every situation, let's say a man being a creep, like he's hollering at you, he's on a bus or whatever, because I have a video of that. You're not going to wave around a gun. You're not going to wave around a gun. You're not going to show off a gun so you can scare the guy. You're not going to, it's like, you're not going to potentially fire a gun, right? In a
I don't know, a public bus or any public area so you can scare away a guy or protect yourself. Not necessarily. Now you could, but I don't know. So with a man around, there's a higher likelihood, in my opinion, that it wouldn't even get that far. It wouldn't. It would deter most men. Not all men, like I said, but it would deter most men. So, and like I said, I promote women caring. I promote women protecting themselves. But here's the thing: most people, it's about prevention. You, you're not gonna being in stressful situations. It's not gonna be easy to you be calm enough to actually use the gun, to calm enough or whatever to logically, I don't know, use the gun to deter somebody. But again, I'm all for women carrying, but predominantly women don't aren't usually the ones to have guns. I think the statistic was about 25% of the population of women have weapons or carry, and I think 40 40 plus men have carry weapons, so or own a gun. So again, not many people in general has a gun, and definitely not many women have a gun. So I'm just this is a thing where women like to think in hopium, in a delusion, in a dream world, where okay, let me just protect myself with a gun. It's like this is the thing. It's like it's not no not everyone's gonna be a John Wick, okay? And let me I don't want a man because he's protecting me from other terrible men. What? That doesn't even make sense. Because unless you don't like men at all, which is fine, most women will be in relationships. So one of the important things is that to have that man be a protector for you. And this is the thing where she also said that, men aren't really protectors. They're only there to protect their what's theirs. They don't protect every woman. Here's the stupidity of that idea where, oh yeah, men don't protect everyone. Men only protect what's theirs. Here's the insanity where it doesn't benefit everyone or anyone from being a hero. It doesn't. If a stranger, okay, protects this woman, a stranger herself, and then he dies from it, now what? Is she going to dedicate her life to his family, dedicate her life to the memory? It's like, yes, all humans, we have a bit of selfishness in it, but it's that part of that selfishness is the ability for us to survive, the ability to because now if this man dies for protecting a stranger, who's going to protect his family? Is that stranger, that woman, now going to protect his family or protect what's his? It's like that's the thing a lot of women seem to neglect. And here's the thing: men do protect women in general or people in general, police, military, all that stuff. Those are the people who protect everyone, and predominantly they're men. But you also have to think logically. Yes, not every man is going to protect everyone because it doesn't make sense. If you lose your life for protecting a random stranger, what's going to happen now, right? What's going to happen to your family or your responsibility? No one else is going to take it up, right? And I had a story a while back where a man with his wife and child jumped in to protect a woman that was getting beat up by her boyfriend. Get beat up by her boyfriend, and both of them left, right? They stopped, both of them left, came back, killed that man. Now protecting a stranger, a woman, he's left a woman widowed and a child fatherless. That stranger woman, right, is not gonna help and take care of his family. So now what? That's the thing where a lot of women are living in a delusional world. They're living in like a make believe, beautiful fantasy that let's be magical. It's ridiculous.
So I just listened to this Reddit story of a man who got into a, I guess, long distance online relationship. She had her kind of certain kind of issues where she's extremely independent, and she also has anxiety issues. First trip he went to her, she barely hang out with him because of anxiety issues, and then the second trip she broke up with him when he landed, okay, because of whatever reason. She's extremely independent and she has anxiety issues. Okay, it got me thinking that I've been there and I've done that. And this is the thing with this, again, this is of course women experience what they experience. I'm talking about from my own experience and what I believe men's experiences is that a lot of times men settle more often than we like to admit. And again, personal opinion, I believe we settle more often than the opposite gender. Because this is a thing where men, on average men, right, in general, dating is not easy. Dating is hard. We don't have opportunities like women where there's always options where if you break up with one woman, there's not like another woman right out the door ready for you, or there's not like dozens upon dozens of women in your DMs, in your phone, your messages that are willing to take the spot of that partner. So for men, again, like I said, in general, these are average men. If you break up in one relationship, the likelihood of you getting another relationship anytime soon isn't that high. Usually it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And it's not necessarily even by choice, right? Women can, they have a lot of options, but they choose not to take up these options so they can be single for a long period of time. Men don't necessarily want that, but you know, the options aren't there. So I believe a lot of men, we settle, and a lot of times we settle, like I said, because the options aren't there. Being single ain't that great. You know, being in the dating market ain't that fun. So we see these red flags, and like I said, I've been there where I've dated women that are extremely independent. Okay, the boss chick, the strong independent kind of mindset where they're aggressive, they're combative, they're argumentative. It's their way or the highway. So that's something that makes relationship difficult where two people are just always fighting, or you can't find common ground, whatever. Or I've been there where I dated a woman who had attachment issues, or she had kind of body image issues. I dated women who was like a constant liar. It's all these. I dated women who were extremely inaffectionate. Right? A lot of women just like they weren't affectionate. Okay, at least as the relationship goes on. And it's the thing where I guess I'm just talking about the hardship of men, where we see these red flags, but because dating is so hard for men, we tend to ignore it. We tend to be so desperate. Okay, we tend to not have boundaries. We tend to do things that no self-respect. We are doormats, no backbones. Because again, we would rather I guess this mindset, we'd rather suffer in a relationship than suffer alone. Ain't that great? But it's a mindset I believe a lot of men share. And it's like just listening to that story, just making me think about my past. And this is like where I get a lot of hate and saying, oh, you're not with anyone, you're single. But this is the thing where for me is like I have other focus. I've throughout the years, in recent years, I've learned that I'm not putting my 100% focus in dating, in women and stuff. I'm putting focus in other things, right? Making money, building, doing my hobbies, whatever. So my focus is not completely on women. And also, like I reevaluate my thoughts. Okay, so for instance, I'm definitely holding myself to boundaries. I'm definitely holding onto standards. Where if a woman's not putting in effort, I'm not dealing with it. This is the thing where I'm at my time in life where I'm not. Why am I settling? Right? Just like women say, they don't want to settle. Cool. I mentioned that too. Where okay, I mean, I have I have a kid already. I've been there, I've done that. So it's not like I'm desperate for anything. Plus, like I'm finding other enjoyments in life. And this is the thing where I think it's funny that women think that they can be happily single. Well, men can too, or men can not put so much focus onto women. I think it's like men being so wrapped, so focused in getting the ass is like. My focus on other things. I want to become a 7-figure man eventually. I want to focus on like I said, hobbies and trying to build an online presence. So I have a different kind of direction. So that's the thing where I cut back on dating a bit. But it's like I think this is the thing where more men need to not be settled. Don't settle for anyone, and don't let people settle for you. And have boundaries, have a backbone. Care about yourself, some self-respect. I believe a lot of men, because we accept whatever we can get, it shows that we lack self-respect. We don't care for ourselves. So I don't know. This is just a random thing about, because after listening to that stories, like I think this is what a lot of men experience. If women think that they deserve the best, well, men should have at least a bit of more self-respect and think that they deserve something good. So just a thought. I saw this video of an average woman severely talking about how unattractive she is, how she wishes she was attractive so she can get a perfect man, a extremely attractive man. And the whole video, she's harking on how unattractive she is. How she wish she can be so attractive where women can be jealous of her and envious of her. And then you see in her comment section where a bunch of women saying, oh, you're beautiful, you're attractive, you're amazing. All you need to do is like, I don't know, eyelashes, whatever, all this shit. And then you also see in other videos, mostly when it's videos of women, other women in their comment section, oh, you're beautiful, you're da da da. And this is the thing where I believe social media is damaging to women. Plus, controversially, I think women are harmful for other women. I think women internet women have been very dangerous to other women. They are the ones who, maybe unknowingly, help perpetuate unhealthy body standards. Where instead of thinking that being average is fine, average is normal, average is perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with being average. We have women nowadays trying to inflate other women's egos, where it's like, oh, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're a 10, you're a goddess, you're a queen, all this stuff, right? Trying to inflate other women's egos, right? In a way that, I get it, they're trying to be kind to other women. But you do it in a way that it doesn't make sense. Here's the thing, where if a woman is a perfect 10, right? All these women say, she's a 10, she's a 10. But life does not show you you're a 10. That's gonna mess with your mind, okay? He's like, oh, I'm a 10.
Any man out there that's like, oh, I believe he's a 10 or like he's a 9 and 8, he should want me. He should go for me. He should want to commit to me. And yet, none of these men do. And if she happens to get a chance with any of these men, all they do is just want to have sex with her. And then that will just continue to mess with women's brains. Like mine's like, I don't get it. How can I get relationships from these, perfect men, these gorgeous men, when every woman says I'm a 10? Every woman says I'm beautiful, gorgeous. I must be gorgeous. So why can't I get the results like gorgeous women? Why aren't I, I don't know, getting model contracts? Why aren't I, living the life of a 8, 9, and 10? Why aren't I doing? Why life is not like that? Reality will awaken women from their delusion. This is the part. This is the problem. A lot of women are deluding other women. They think that they're being nice, sympathetic, whatever, empathetic, but they're just inflating women's ego to such a level where they're deluding themselves. They're deluded now in a way that they will look down on average men. They're like, oh, who are you? I'm perfect. I'm a 10. I'm a goddess. I'm gorgeous. I'm beautiful. You're just average. You're ugly. And then that 25-year-old that thought she was gorgeous, beautiful, because other women inflate her ego. Now she's 35 and is like, where's all the good men at? Why am I still single? Where's my husband at? All this shit. Because all these women have told that I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous. Men should be lucky to have me. Where are these men? Again, we have created a generation where social media is poisoning women, and a big part of that is women poisoning other women. You are needlessly turning women to egotistical. Honestly, women are creating narcissistic women. Every woman thinks that they're perfect, thinks that they're gorgeous, beautiful, and every other man around them is ugly. Because women have such overinflated egos that if an average man comes next to her, he is ugly in her eyes. Because in her mind, she is beautiful, she is gorgeous, she is conventionally attractive, she's above average. So of course, every average man would be ugly in her eyes. And we're getting that more and more. Every woman, most likely, most of them average and some of them below average, but they think every man is ugly. Every man is ugly. Because, you're not an 8, you're not a 9, you're not a 10, so you're ugly in my eyes. And that is the thing where we are destroying a generation of women. We are destroying women thanks to other women. I think this is funny. Okay, this is a thing where, when women in particular, are triggered, by what someone says, they are one of the first to just attack you on your looks. And I've said this. I said I'm average at best. Now, whether you think I'm in the negatives or whatever, well, okay, cool. But here's the thing where we have to also understand. People constantly say, "Oh, beauty is subjective. Beauty is subjective." You gotta have the proof to it, right? Like, let's say an 8, a 9, and 10, which is 10 is probably non-existent. It's perfect. But 8, 9s, those are people that are in magazines, on commercials, on TV, on whatever. Those are people who, let's say the vast majority, view as an 8 and 9. Like the vast majority, not everyone, but a good amount of people view them as gorgeous, beautiful, whatever. So even if people say, "Oh, you like," towards me, it's like, "Oh, you're negative in looks," you can say that. But let's say this: my history, I have had quite a few girlfriends. I've had plenty of long-term relationships. Not crazy a lot, but I've had plenty. To at least say that, I'm not hideous. Where I've never had a woman, and I'm still a virgin. So that's why it's like, people can judge this is why men are more realistic, where they use their life, right, real life, as a judge of them, right? Men don't necessarily judge their beauty, but they judge their, level, saying that, okay, if a lot of women want you, you must be in the 8s and 9s and stuff. Some men will say, okay, I mean, like, you've never, you've had relationships, you've had girlfriends, you've had sex, you've had hookups. Well, that's gotta say that at least, the very least, you're average, okay? So this is the thing where men are more realistic. Men go about things by logic, proof, facts, okay? You can't, I would say it's kind of factual. You can't say someone is hideous, like in the double negatives, in looks, when, in all honesty, they've had girlfriends, they've had sex, they've had serious relationships. Are they actually that hideous? I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So, because if this person is like, saying that I'm hideous, double negative in looks, well then imagine someone who is, never had sex, still virgin in later years, whatever, then they gotta be like quadruple digits. It's like, then your scale is just weird. And I just say, like, these are things where it shows you that how easily triggered people can be. How about, go about things with logic, debate me or argue, right, about the topic at hand. Because I'm talking about how, this is funny because this is the thing where women easily will hype up average looking women, even below average women. They will hype up below average looking women. Yet they will easily try to humble men. Because this is the thing where, let's say a woman that's in my, I I don't know, I'll say my look level. Women like this will say, oh, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, etc., etc. But a man like me, oh, you're hideous, you're double negative. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that a woman that's, because people have called Lizzo, okay? Lizzo a 10, beautiful, gorgeous. But I'm double negative. That's the hypocrisy and delusion in women's logic. It don't make sense. That don't make sense. So it just shows you how weird it is, you know? And show you how easily women trigger. This is the thing that women don't understand. When you show your emotion, when you're overly emotional, it shows that you can't stand on your logic. That usually your logic is flawed and you are triggered. You are getting emotional. So it's funny. I love this. An Asian content creator, a mutual of mine. She's amazing. She's an amazing content creator. Has said how much she loved the new crop of Asian creators popping up. And this is the thing where I'll say the same thing. She is a beacon of amazing content. We don't have enough Asian creators speaking out about Asian ideologies or traditions, mindset. Because here's the thing, a lot of Asian people, in my opinion, most, are very traditional. They believe in responsibility, being respectful, respecting your elders, respecting others, family-oriented, caring about your parents, caring about generations, caring about your ancestors, caring about civic duty, caring about your country, right? Caring about your community, spouting family, right? Family unity, the power of family, and being a good citizen. Being a good citizen. Not being a model minority, which is an insult. Trying to insult Asian people. But in my opinion, like, are you trying to insult me by saying that I'm a good citizen? So what? So what? Because we have too many people who are delusional, hypocrites, okay? They shit on their country that gave them the freedoms that they are, experiencing today, right? The freedom that financial freedoms, freedom of speeches, freedom of actions. But this is the thing where it's insane that you shit on the country that give you the abilities to, that you have today, right? The freedoms, the enjoyments you have today. And that's why I believe the younger generation are suffering, because they are falling for white liberal poisoning. Because here's the thing, in my personal opinion, white liberals are so free, so entitled. Their lives are so easy. They find things to be crazy about, to be insane, to be mentally ill about, like the alphabet people, illegal immigration, whatever else. Okay, and that's the insanity, and it's poisoning our younger generation, where individualism is affecting them, selfishness is affecting them, right? It's ego that's affecting them. So I've said this in another thing, where we have too many of our younger generation that is being poisoned, that they forget where their roots are, their where tradition is. We care about the community. We care about the community. We care about the country. We care about a better future. And this is the thing where we also keep others in line. We shame. Right? That's the thing. That's Asian people. We will shame you. We believe in it. It's just how it is. Because too many people think they're so entitled. So you will be shamed. You will be shamed in the sense that this is not how your parents taught you. This is not respectful to your ancestors. Their blood, sweat, and tears that's giving you the freedoms that you are experiencing now. Right? We are trying to wake up the younger generation of Asian people. And this is a thing where, to not think you're something special because you're a minority. No. You're only special because how hard you work. Your work ethics. That's the thing where a lot of younger generation Asian people are forgetting, that it's work ethic. They're lazy. They think that because their parents have worked hard to hand things, to pretty much give them the opportunities they have, they think they are handed everything in life. No. So yeah, I'm a big supporter of more Asian people sprouting traditions. Okay, what it is to be an Asian person, what it is to be a good citizen. Okay, and respecting your country. I'm an American first, then an Asian person. Okay, so yeah, I love America, and I love my Asian community. I just think that we are being wrongfully steered into a direction that is disgusting, and it doesn't spout Asian traditions. I watched this video of a woman talking about don't date broke men. This is a thing where I want to kind of cover this topic a bit. Broke men. Now, it's hard to quantify broke men. This is a thing where don't date men without jobs. Only about 10% of men
don't have jobs. Most men have jobs. Most men are working.
Crazy.
Now, the whole thing about broke men, I think that's a kind of a misconception in the sense that what do women go by broke? Broke. It's like, yeah, nowadays men aren't necessarily fully providing for men, providing for women. Okay, I get that. But why should they? Why should men today, 2025, fully provide for women? Did women not fought for the opportunity, right, for the right to be equal to men, to work, to have jobs? I can't understand that, right? Women have, and a lot of women don't want to be stay-at-home moms, don't want to be stay-at-home wives, because they don't want, they don't want the responsibilities, they don't want the stigma, they don't want what comes along with it. So they want their own kind of freedom, having work. So really, broke men is like such a kind of stupid thing to say. Most women should work. And this is the thing, I don't even think most women even qualify or can handle being a stay-at-home wife, being a stay-at-home mom, because again, it comes with gender roles, it comes with traditions that honestly most women can't deal with. Again, I think women are better off in 50-50 relationships where you both contribute as equally as possible in all kinds of areas. Okay, childcare, child rearing, domestic work, providing. You both do it equally. I think that is better for most people. I think providership roles, those gender roles, I don't think most women nowadays can handle that stuff. Because again, I always believe if you make the money, you make the rules. And I don't think women can handle that. Right? Handle men controlling women. I also think, let me say this, right? I'm gonna be fair too. I don't think most men can handle being leaders. Being a leader is not an easy job. Not an easy job. So I don't think most men can handle the power that comes along with it. But again, the whole broke man thing is like, I honestly believe it's like such a, and social media has really poisoned women's brains, because I think most men can, provide bills, utilities, roof over the head. They can't do luxury, like vacation trips every month, every year, fancy clothes, fancy materialistic things, going out every night, every other week, all that shit. Yeah, they can't do that, okay? So then that's because thanks to social media, that's the lifestyle women think, oh, if you can't provide that, you're broke. So again, the whole broke ideology with women is like kind of stupid. Most men are surviving on whatever they're making, or at least to a equal standing that women are, okay? Most people in general, both men and women, are kind of living paycheck to paycheck, but they're living, they're surviving. So men and women are financially equal in a sense. So I just think that the whole broke men ideology or talk is just foolish, because it's more about you're not providing a luxury lifestyle to women, then you're broke. That is stupid. That is stupid. Because again, most women don't qualify for a luxury lifestyle. Most people, men and women, are average people. So yeah, I just think it's a foolish conversation. I saw this video of a woman who said that she is undocumented. That she's been undocumented since she was like 5, and she's like in her mid-20s. This is a thing where I can never understand. Maybe explain to me, right? Because I look at Google and you could get your papers. So explain to me the mentality where, and I know people who were undocumented, they went through the process and got papers, right? Get married, did whatever process to get their citizenship. This is the thing where I can't understand the laziness, and then not understand that because you're lazy, you may get consequences for that. That's the thing where I can't comprehend, because it sounds entitled, it sounds lazy, where you could say that you're undocumented for 10, 20, 50 years, and then surprised that you get deported. Say something, it's like, what were you doing all those years? Because I'm pretty sure you weren't doing anything to try to be a citizen, because you didn't care. It was at the bottom of your priority list. And since it was at the bottom of your priority list, why are you surprised that you are suffering the consequences for your laziness, for your irresponsibility? Why? That's the thing. That's part of the conversation why I feel like a lot of Asians who went through the process, because they can't easily cross the border like other people. They went through the process of waiting years, spending thousands of dollars, and then getting it. They appreciate it more. So yes, maybe I don't speak for all Asians. I believe I like to think that I speak for the majority, for the ones who have parents or they themselves went through the process, went through the painstaking process to become a citizen of a country that they wanted to be a part of and that they love now. To see that, you know what, other people who honestly were lazy, didn't actually love the country, didn't care for the country, and now complaining that the country is showing you the consequences of those actions. Because I honestly can't understand the entitlement that you were undocumented for decades. And then you're trying to come online to support or educate people about being undocumented. No, when you're educating people, you're pretty much saying that you're lazy. You're pretty much saying that you didn't put no effort. For 10 years, you got no paper, you got nothing, you got nothing moving. It sounds like, you know, you got what you deserve if you get deported. Now I'm saying that, like, you know, there's ways to work with the system, work around it, make it work. I mean, like I said, the one that I saw was a really good-looking woman. Why did you not get married? I'm not saying that, you know, get married for a green card, but so what? Like, make the system work for you. Make the system work for you. No one's complaining that, you know, you make the system work. You work around the system. The rich people do it all the time, right? Rich do it all the time. You know, the tax and all this shit. If they can do it, why don't you? This is the thing where that's why I said I can also understand why certain communities complain about, oh, the rich, the white, all this shit. No, we in 2025 have the power to do exactly like other groups. We can work around the system. We can make the system work for you. It's just that you're lazy. It's just that you don't try. You don't put no effort in. You can make the system work for you because it's within our rights. It's within our system. It's within our system. No one's complaining about you making it work for you. I think people are complaining about your entitlement, your laziness, your lack of care. That's my view. I just listened to this story, a Reddit story, and you know, take it with a grain of salt. Reddit stories, but I mean, nothing is original. You know, I think it's happening to someone, and this is very common. Of a woman complaining that she told her husband that he's too sexually active, or that he's too affectionate. He gets too when he hugs her, he's too hypersexual. He wants her, he loves her, he's so into her. So she said that his reaction, you know, always wanting to have sex with her, always wanting to be with her, he's turned on by her, is disgusting. So essentially, that turns him off. That pretty much, like, he doesn't want to disgust her, so he pretty much dials it down, where he's not doing anything where it will be inappropriate, where it comes off that he sexually attracted to her, and essentially turning into a sexless marriage. This is the thing, and she's complaining about it. She's complaining about, oh my God, now he doesn't even want to do anything, you know, want to interact or want to have sex or whatever. This is another kind of issue men have always faced: sexless marriages. Because this is the thing where I find it just shows me that women are women truly emotionally intelligent? I believe they're not. I believe they sympathize for women. I definitely believe that. But to be emotionally intelligent, I believe you can regulate it. You are sympathetic clearly. Because here's the thing. I believe men are more. Because men can be more understanding of women don't wanting to have sex, right? Because they understand that, you know, women, how they feel. They sympathize with women. So men don't necessarily push it. Women, they don't really sympathize with men for anything. I have not seen an example of women in large actually sympathizing with men on anything. So to be emotionally intelligent, you really have to understand other people's emotions as well. But women only care about themselves. So I'm not surprised that they can understand other women's emotions because they understand their own emotions, okay? Essentially just selfish. So I'm more saying, like, this is a thing where, you know, we build a society that we're propping up women, which is what it is, okay? But we don't realize the consequences it's creating. This is why you don't realize where men don't value marriage. Men want it because, you know, men, I believe men are more romantic. Men are more love unconditionally type of people. Men are more emotionally intelligent. They are more in tune. So, you know, men want marriage. It's just that, what's the point? What's the point? Men have seen this is funny, right? Women have seen the hardships of women in the past. Guess what? Men have too. Guess what? Men have too. Because this is the thing, right? Another thing where no sympathy, okay? Lack of emotional intelligence. Men have seen that men in the past have worked themselves to the bones, right? Men have high death rates in the work field, work themselves to the bone, to only see women put that down. Like, oh, all he did was work. It's so hard being a stay-at-home mom. It's so hard being, you know, the domestic type. It's so hard. No appreciation for the man. Guess what? Why do you think less and less men want to provide? It ain't men. It ain't men who did it. It ain't men who stopped wanting to provide. No. It's women who shitted on providership. So guess what? Men adapt.
You know, that's the thing. Where and then you see the whole thing where sexist marriages. I mean, I don't condone cheating, but come on, you wonder why, you know, good men get tempted. Now, again, I don't condone it. You might as well just break up, divorce if you're going to cheat. But this is the thing where it shows more often where women don't sympathize with men in anything. They don't care how men feel. They don't try to understand how men feel. But then they're surprised that the outcomes they're getting, the consequences they're getting. Like I said, you know, the creations of passport bros, that's the consequences of feminism, women. The creation of, you know what, how men don't really want to commit anymore. At least top tier men, they definitely don't want to commit. Why do they commit? What's the point? Get with a woman who eventually will turn marriages into sexless, or divorce them and try to take half. These men are smart. So top tier men don't want to commit. Mid tier men, what are they committing to women nowadays? Okay, women are so aggressive, so politically charged, so feminist, so there is very little benefits for men to make those commitments. And at the root, it's women, and this is the thing where, like I said, I don't think that women are emotionally intelligent, because they cannot sympathize with men, because they cannot see what it's like for men, because they don't care. So I don't know. I just thought it was because that story, right? The Reddit story got me thinking about that, and just like, that's one of the things where I hate sexless relationships. Because here's the thing, where men are always hold to their duties. What are women's duties? Because here's the thing, even nowadays, women expect men to contribute to the child care, house care. So really, what are women's duties? What is it? Okay, if men are now splitting and expected to split the child care, house care, and he still has to provide for the family. What are women's duties? I really can't understand. And I hear more and more stories of men are the ones who's cooking. So really, I think men are not dying to just make life easier for women while men struggle. I don't know. I want to say this, right? I was listening to a Reddit story of a man who saved his coworker, a female coworker. She was choking. He saved her. So, he saved her from choking, but she felt that he was too close to her, right? He all up on her. She could feel his body when she was saving it, when he was saving her. So what she did was she went to HR to complain. She went to HR to complain about him, that she felt uncomfortable around him. And it made her think that all the times he was friendly to her before the saving incident, she felt that those was uncomfortable because he was too friendly to her. And then, she went to HR, got this whole thing happening, and HR told him and warned him, to watch out, be careful, that you could make people feel bad or whatever. And then she started complaining that he's now treating her differently. He's staying away from her. He's not being friendly to her. That he just stays away from her. He keeps his distance. And then Reddit story, people may say it's fake, but truthfully, I think a couple years back, a man saved a woman from drowning. Okay, he saved a woman from drowning, got her out of the water, gave her CPR. This one is a definitely true story. She then sued him for giving her CPR. This is the thing that a lot of women can't comprehend. Okay, men didn't start anything, or at least let's listen to this, right? How the world is right now. Okay, it isn't men's fault. It isn't men's. Men didn't change the world to what it is right now. The world, what it was, let's say pre 1950, whatever. Okay, pre-feminism. That's the world men created. The world now is essentially the world that women created. Okay, essentially, men facilitated too, but basically women were the ones to start the change. So, I honestly believe how you see the world now, it's how women created it. Whether they want it to be what it is now or not, they're the ones to facilitate the changes. So you wonder why. This is the thing where I can say this: what has changed is women. But men haven't changed. Men adapted. That's the thing. This is why there's little to no gentlemen. Chivalry is dead. You see this thing where men decide, men are called sassy for asking for effort from women, equal treatment from women. You can see where men are not completely focused on money and stuff like that. All the things that you see women complain about. Oh, men not approaching women because men have listened. They don't want to be creepy. Okay. And then you also hear women say, "Oh, men don't help out women." Like if a woman is like trying to carry something heavy, men walk around. They don't try to help. Guess what? It is your fault. You did it. Women have created the status quo, and the problem is that because of the girl code or what the sisterhood, women do not call out other women. Women do not fight against the girl code or the feminism shit. No, they follow it, but they complain about it. They complain about it because this is the thing where, again, men have done it. Men don't approach women because they don't want to be they don't want to be perceived as creepy. Women have said they don't want men to approach anymore. Okay, men don't. Women have always said they want men to be more emotionally in tune, more emotionally intelligent. Guess what? That comes with holding boundaries. That's coming with asking for equal treatment. But what is that labeled? Sassy. What is it? Men think they deserve equal or better. Guess what? I honestly think that what does that come with? The passport bros. All these little things that that's happening in today's day and age. Women have created it. Because guess what? Before feminism, that was the world of men. Now everything you see, everything women complain about, women have created it. Those are the consequences of women's actions. That's why women won't see it, because honestly, women lack the ability or the brain cells, not brain cells, that's cruel, lack the common sense or viewpoints to see accountability, and women don't really understand consequences. And that's probably a lot of times it's men's fault, because men have made the world too easy for women. So, well, now women are suffering from those consequences dearly. So I saw this video of a woman asking her man, will you never get tired of me? And this is a thing where I'm not saying everyone, okay? This is not necessarily a all thing, but I believe most men are habitual. They are a habitual type of people. Most men are easy to please. I've always felt this, okay? That the biggest danger in marriage is boredom, and I believe that's more for women, because I believe the most dangerous emotion a woman can have is boredom. She would destroy a relationship, a marriage, if she's bored. And that kind of correlates, right? I'm not necessarily it's like a one-to-one causation, but it shows with the 70% of filing of divorces are by women. Because I honestly believe, in my personal opinion, the number one reasonings for divorce is boredom. She's falling out of love with him. She doesn't like how her life is. She wants something new, etc., etc. While for men are easily more content. Men are not striving to be happy. I believe men are happy in habitual things, habits. The man in that video said, I ate the same thing I've been eating since I was a kid. I've played the same games I've played since I was a kid. I'm not going to get tired of you. Most men, in my personal opinion, they're very habitual. They do the exact same thing and they're fine with it. Men do this, they find a hobby, they continue to do it, they're perfectly content with life, with how things are. Men are not so thirst to be absolutely happy. Okay, I believe content is men's goal. Peace, content, peace is men's goal. That is men's happiness. Okay, because I believe men know that happiness is fleeting. Okay, being constantly, consistently, always happy is honestly ridiculous and weird. It's borderlines on psychotic. But being content and peaceful is more logical. It makes more sense. That can be sustained. Habits, things that, whether may sound boring, but the same thing day in and day out, a lot of men don't mind it. It's usually the chaos men are tired of. And you can see that, women, honestly, I think women thrive on chaos. So I thought it was interesting. It shows a lot of humans' habits, because I personally don't believe that marriages or relationships fails because men are cheating. Men are the ones who are always cheating. I don't believe that, because men and women cheat at close to the same rates. I believe women cheat more, but they're just better at it. But regardless, I don't believe cheating is that big of a issue. Finances, I don't believe that's big of an issue as well, in the sense that men and women they make about the same, or women usually pick men. Women usually choose men that make about the same or more than them. Okay, so I don't believe finances is the biggest issue. I don't believe these are the biggest issues. I believe the biggest issues in relationships, in marriages, is boredom. Women's boredom. Women are not, in my personal opinion, in general, not that happy with habits or things being habitual, because it gets boring. Okay, I believe this is why, honestly, women can't handle. Women usually choose the more chaotic men, the bad boys, the pookies, the players, because they find good men boring. And I don't disagree. Good men are usually the boring types. They're not the ones to go out and have fun. They're not the ones to change up a schedule. They do the same things day in and day out.
So they're not that chaotic. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting thing where it just helps add more to my theory. What I've been saying. You know what I think is funny? This whole trend with men accountability thing. It's funny that when men have been talking about women's accountability, that women should, be accountable. There's no trend. There's no going viral. There's no talk about it. Okay, women are quiet. Women don't say shit. Yet they will definitely jump on a train when talking about men being accountable. When actuality, I always believe that men have always been held accountable, always, because this is the thing where a lot of women don't realize. You're just dating the bad men that have no good friends. Period. This is the thing where a lot of women don't realize. I definitely understand the phrase where, what is it? Birds of a feather flocks together. Usually, most cases, the bad men usually have bad friends. Usually, good men have good friends, or they just don't have friends at all. So this is the thing where it's not that men aren't holding other men accountable. They are. The sad part is that you're just choosing the men that, you know what? Guess what? Those men, they don't have good friends. They actually have friends just like themselves. They're just like they have friends like the players, the bad boys, all that shit. So it's a moot point. It's a moot point. Talking about, men need to hold other men accountable. They do. Men do. The problem is they're just not holding the men accountable that you want. And they will never hold the men that you want accountable. Because again, they aren't friends. They aren't in the same social group. We're not just going to hold strangers accountable for what they're doing to you when you chose that man. That's why, in my personal opinion, that's why women being accountable makes more sense. Don't choose that man. Don't choose that man. Don't hope for other men to make your man or the man that you want be more proper, be more morally sound, be a good man. No. How about, instead of being attracted to shitty men, how about choose good men? Choose men that, hold themselves accountable instead of choosing men that wouldn't. But no, women love this whole, hold men accountable trend or conversation because it takes away accountability from them. It takes away effort. It takes away the difficulties from them, the consequences from them. So they don't need to hold the men that they chose, right? Any kind of accountability, or they don't need to hold themselves accountable for choosing said terrible men. They will leave it to other men to do it. Seriously, again, like I said, I don't know any good man having shitty friends. At least not by a large degree, a large margin. And in my opinions, if it does happen like that, where there are a bunch of good men that have one bad friend, they do hold these men accountable. I believe it's just the majority, women are choosing bad men that don't have good influences. This, okay, is what's wrong with America right now. This is what's harming young boys, okay? I saw this comment on a creator's page, a creator's video of he is born a male, transition to a female. Now he's trying to detransition. Shit like this is what created that problem. The whole rhetoric of toxic masculinity, the whole rhetoric that we are always inundated thanks to social media and entertainment and stuff like that. Men are toxic. Rather choose the bear. Don't need no man. Men are evil. Men are dangerous. All men are trash. The constant shame, constant insults, constant belittling, constant degradation, right? Constant just disgustingness, actual toxicity towards men. And young boys see that and they don't want to experience that. So guess what? They want to be women because they're scared to be men. They're scared. Thanks to people like this, thanks to the left, thanks to all these disgusting feminist women scaring young boys. And that's absolutely that's the problem we're seeing now. It's like, and no one's talking about it. No one's talking about how we are destroying young boys. We are literally destroying young boys. Since I'm going off of this, I'm gonna go all the way. We don't talk enough about how women are such a danger to young men. We don't talk about it. That women are, I don't know. maybe systematically, maybe however, they are trying their best to destroy young men. They are. I honestly believe it. They are creating the men that they wouldn't date. They are creating the men that they would put down. Like, seriously, you sound like a perfect boyfriend. Date him then. Again, this is the thing where women are creating the men that they know would cease to exist, that they know would go extinct. They are creating those men, and controversial. I think that's women's aims. I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying women like this, women with this mentality, right? The feminists of today, they are trying their best to create men that would eventually go extinct. So I don't know. I just think it's sad to see the current state of young men. I really do, because they are doing worse than ever. You know, I found this funny. I've been listening to a lot of Reddit stories. Okay, some people believe they're not real, but in my personal opinion, nothing is completely original. Right? I mean, you hear a story, there's a highly likelihood that it's happening to someone out there. Okay, so I wanted to get that off the table. So I've been listening to a lot of Reddit stories, and a good amount of them is that, you know, when women cheat, their argument is that you work too much. Right? The man, you neglect me. You're not there. You work too much. And I'm like, it's kind of confusing to me, because this is a thing where, and a lot of these women are either stay-at-home wives or stay-at-home mothers. It never makes sense to me that we hear it day and day with this app, on social media, whatever, how women want ambitious men. Women want men that are six figures. Women want men that work hard, or maybe, I don't know, work hard, but ambitious. The women want men that are ambitious. But do women not understand what comes with ambition? You have to work hard. You have to work hard to make six figures, to make seven figures. You won't have time. This is the thing where I also don't understand the providership mindset. This man has to provide for you, himself, possible kids, and the future of the family. Not just the present. He's not just providing for the present. He has to provide for their future stability. That's something that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't recognize. He is not just providing for how you're living right now. He's providing for your stability in the future. So I can never understand how one of women's arguments when they cheat, you're not around. You're not around. You don't pay attention to me. There's no, all these emotional, excuses or whatever. Do you not understand that you want an easier life, or at least an easier financial life? You put all that responsibility on the man, and you expect him to also have a lot of free time. You expect him also to make your needs, or your emotional needs, a priority. It's like this is something that I've always thought, at least with hearing all these stories and seeing how the dating market is. I think a big problem with a lot of women, not all women, but a lot, they want perfection. They want the perfect man, the perfect timing, the perfect outcome. It's just a whole cascade of perfection. And if it's not perfect, they will fuck shit up. They will fuck shit up. They will fuck your life up. If it ain't perfect, they will mess you up. And I can never understand, because you ask for it. You ask to be provided for. You ask for ambitious men. Yet their actions, what they say they want, is different than their actions. Because literally, your actions, cheating, pretty much invalidates the man that provides, the man that's ambitious. That is the insanity of what I never understand with women. What do you want, right? Because what you say, what you do are totally different. And in reality, it shows.